What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today is Friday the 13th. So what better film franchise to sit down and discuss but the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? I'm just kidding. We're talking about Friday the 13th. We're going through the entire franchise. We're going to be talking about them, not in full detail like we do with our other films, but we're going to be going into small details on each movie. We're going to be talking about, the final girls, the different Jasons and other people that kill people in these films, and all of that fun stuff. It's going to be a mess, but it's going to be a blast all at the same time. We're going to be there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be a lot of what the fucks. It's going to be a good time.
I mean, that was the first one for me. I was like, wait a minute. Did he say that right?
It's going to be
okay.
great.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a good time. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining
Nightmare
me,
on Elm Street.
as always, is the wonderful Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
Hello.
Easily confused.
How are we, and are we ready for this?
Oh, my body is always ready.
I think I'm as ready as I can without watching.
Oh,
she really got excited when she heard Nightmare on Elm Street. She was like, "Wait, what?"
I was like, "Wait, I watched the wrong thing."
Don't
do that.
I'd only be able to make it through like 2 or 3 of those. I've not seen a whole lot of the.
I've only watched yours.
It's a better franchise than this.
Really think so?
Yep. But we'll talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, that franchise, at another time. But this week we're focusing all of our attention on Friday the 13th, and guess what? This episode's going to be coming out on Friday the 13th. That's why we're doing it.
Yay! You're welcome.
And ironically, we're recording it on Mother's Day, which is very topical since it all started with a mother.
Yeah, it's crazy how that all ties itself up in a nice, beautiful little bow, and you just send it out, and then a lot of people die.
Yes.
Let's go around. Let's talk a little bit about our history with this franchise and like where it all started for us. And of course, we always start with DNA Gaming. When was the first time you ever watched it? It doesn't have to be the first one. Just when was the first time you remember watching a Friday the 13th film? I don't know how you're going to answer the question with that terrifying face, just leering at you.
That's a trick question because I don't remember the first time I watched. And I don't remember the first one I watched.
It was the one with the tits in it.
Well, most of them have that. So, I mean, sex scene and boobs. I know. Honestly, I don't remember when I first watched. Or which one. My memory is terrible. I do remember parts of the second one more than I think any of them, though. So that probably was the first one I watched. I don't know, because we recently watched, starting with the second one. When in October.
It was a while ago. We just started binging them. I don't even know why we watched them on our stream.
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yeah, we started with part 2. We just kept watching them.
I don't know why we didn't start with the first one.
Oh, I know why. Because I intentionally didn't start with the first one.
But there's parts of the second one that I do remember as we were watching it, so I'm assuming that was the first one I watched. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Dan?
This all goes back to early 90s.
And I was a little boy.
So there I was.
A little boy.
So anyway, it all goes back to the early 90s. I did not grow up. I hated horror movies growing up. I was a traumatized child, and I didn't watch this stuff. But a lot of my family liked this, and I hung out at my grandfather's. My uncle lived there, and he always had a big selection of VHS tapes. And I always remember the cover arts of said VHS tapes. Like the first one is like the outline of the killer, and then you see like the teens and the people standing in like the dark woods. It's a really dark cover. And then what was it, part 3, like stabbing to the shower curtain, or is that part 2?
But you
know what I'm talking about. I remember these movies very specifically. It was part 3, very specifically from the old VHS tape covers. That's what I recall. God, part 5 had a shitty VHS cover. It's not even the right mask. It's not even close. But anyway, sorry, I had to look them up because I couldn't fully remember. But that's what I remember. But the first one I watched was not till way later into my teens. I actually started watching them on when like USA Network used to have the Friday the 13th marathons.
Yep.
Do you remember these?
Oh yeah, I watch those all the time.
I always remember the commercial because it's like an actual marathon, and the dude tries to hand Jason a drink, and he like cuts his arm off like he's running down the road. Yeah, so I always remember these. But Friday the 13th Part 6 is my first one.
Okay,
that was the first one I ever watched, and I love the movies. It took me forever. I actually only finished watching all the movies yesterday. I watched the final 2 that I'd not actually seen.
Wow.
Opposites. I would sneak and watch horror movies knowing that I was not supposed to be watching. I would sneak and watch.
I'm still a baby. I had to suck my thumb. She had to get my pacifier and everything. my banky. Anyway, but yeah, that's where it started. Part 6. Part 6 was my first.
My history with this franchise goes back probably to the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, my parents got divorced when I was young, so my mom was more of like we can watch a horror movie, but it has to be PG-13. Like she wouldn't allow us to watch rated R horror, where my dad didn't give a shit. We would literally go hang out at his house, and we would go to the movie. Like it wasn't a Blockbuster; it was literally just this little tiny rental store.
Yes,
and had a pizza place right next to it. So we'd go there, we'd pick like 4 movies to rent. Then we go to the pizza place, get some pizza and wings, and we go back to his apartment, and we'd literally all weekend would just be watching movies and eating a lot of junk. But horror was my favorite. Like I would be like, but I would start from the beginning. So like we would go through all of the Friday the 13th movies. And at that time, pretty much all of them were out. I think Jason X, was still somewhat new. It had just come out in theaters. And then Freddy vs. Jason was like 2 years later. But yeah, we would go through the Fridays, and we go through the Nightmares, we go through Child's Play. Like, you know, being with my dad was where I kind of was able to see those movies that I wasn't allowed to watch with my mom, because she was, you know, a little bit more, you know, she made sure we were watching appropriate things, where my dad was just like, it's a movie, who gives a shit?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. So I started from the beginning, and to be honest, I kind of remember watching the first one for the first time, and when the end happens, I still, by the time it was over, was like, what happened? Like, who was it? I'm confused, because when you're getting into a franchise that's already been out for 20 years at the time, you're so embedded with Jason. Like Jason was everywhere. And I just remember watching that first movie going, where was Jason? Where was he? Yeah. And even after the end, like the end credits would hit, you're still like, that movie sucked. Where was Jason that whole time? She said his name. But then going back and rewatching the original, I appreciate the original for what it is. I thought it was a cool twist. And for, you know, what they were trying to put out there, you know, this wasn't supposed to turn out the way that it ended up turning out. You know, this was literally supposed, you know, Jason wasn't supposed to turn into the supernatural killer that he is today. You know, he was just the boy who drowned, and his mom was seeking revenge for his death. And it was just like, well, we could make a lot of money doing this, so we're just gonna take what we put in that first one, we're gonna kind of tweak it, and then here we go, we got a franchise. But yeah, I mean, Friday definitely isn't one of my favorite horror franchises. It's probably pretty low for me, you know, compared to like Child's Play and Nightmare on Elm Street, which I think is one of my favorites. Even just recently getting into Evil Dead, I would put Evil Dead over this. Like, this is just like we're going to talk about it as we're going through the entire franchise, but you have your good ones, and you have your bad ones, and then you have your what the fuck is this movie? And you have that with like Nightmare. There are a couple of them where you're like, ugh, what? Why did we need that? But Friday the 13th, man, this franchise is just an absolute roller coaster. There are movies that are literally the same thing repeated. It's kind of a messy franchise, but it's enjoyable. They're not long movies. You get what you get. You're getting some kills, some really cool kills. You're getting a lot of boobies and lots of Jason in all different forms.
Yeah, like hallucinations.
Hallucinations, all of it. So what we're going to do in this show is we are going to go through each and every Friday the 13th film, except for Freddy vs. Jason. We're going to exclude that one because we kind of had a conversation. We determined that even though Jason's in the movie, they did him dirty, and it's more of a nightmare film. Like Freddy kind of takes control of that whole thing. Yeah. So when we get to discussing the Nightmare on Elm Street films, we'll include Freddy vs. Jason into that.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go through every film. We're going to have a little discuss. We're not going to go our normal plot synopsis because this episode will be like 7 hours long. Yeah. And we're just going to talk a little bit about them. And as we get through every movie, we're going to rank the film, Final Girl, and the killer. And then by the end, we'll have our Dissect That Film Friday the 13th final rankings.
Final rankings.
I'll strap in, people. Buckle up. This shit's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be nuts.
So starting off is Friday the 13th, released May 9th, 1980, for a little budget of $550,000. It was actually more expensive than Halloween, which came out 2 years before.
By how much?
Like 200,000. I think it was like a 3 to 350K for Halloween.
Yeah, well, Halloween did really kind of. I could see why somebody'd be like, "Oh, let's do this," because obviously Halloween really jumped that genre. I mean, it already existed, but it was like a real shot in the arm.
Yeah. It was directed by Sean S. Cunningham. Written by Victor Miller. Sean S. Cunningham pretty much came out and said, "Hey, Halloween's doing really good. Let's just rip that off." And that's pretty much what you get. You get a very generic, slasher. It's one of those films that you look back and you're like, the acting isn't great because it's a lot of no-namers, of course. That's kind of the way it works throughout this franchise. You're not going to get those big names. You are going to get some people really early in their career who then turn out to be big actors. Kevin Bacon, for example, who shows up in this film, who gets one of the coolest deaths.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was $550,000 budget. It made $59.8 million. Big success for something with such a tiny, tiny budget.
Mm-hmm.
What are our thoughts on the original Friday the 13th?
What is your thought?
It's fine. It's a fine movie. I mean, it's a fine start to this franchise. Obviously, with any new franchise, even though it copies heavily, because I know horror, even a lot of films in general do this, but you notice it a lot in horror with copycat films and premises and so on and so forth. It's fine. It's okay. I think some parts were slow. It is really atmospheric at times and quiet at times, where I think it's just like background noise and there's nothing. And that's cool. Like, it really sets the mood. Like, it really makes it feel isolated. I've not seen this movie in a long time. A very, very long time. I don't hold anything against it, but the reason I don't watch it very much is because I watch this film series for Jason.
Right.
And it's a fine beginning. I have no issue with this movie outside of it being a little bit slow. It's got some dope-ass kills because Tom Savini did the practical effects on it. It's got the Baconator in it.
Heck yeah.
Baconator. It's an all right movie. And the twist is good, even though there's not a whole lot that really builds to it. Like, there's not very many breadcrumbs in the movie leading up to what the killer is, outside of like a couple things that get vaguely mentioned. They don't specifically allude to the individual that is the killer. So, breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs. Yes.
Your turn.
I mean, I liked it for what it was because, it's the first of this series of
Stabby, stabby, cut, cut.
uh,
Stabby, stabby, cut, cut.
stabby, stabby, cut, cut. Yeah, I mean, it's the first one. I mean, yeah, you don't have to like the first of a series, whatever. I liked it for what it was. Other than that, I mean, yeah, there's some cool kills, but other than that, there's better ones.
Nobody teleports, which is kind of shit. So
No, we don't get teleportation for a
till
while.
later. Yeah.
Jason
Holy
portation.
shit. Yeah, this is it's fine. I like the kills. I think they're, Tom Savini is a, special effects master. And I think that's what attracts me to these films. It's not the fact of like, oh my god, the storytelling is terrible. Like, I don't give a shit about the goddamn storytelling. It's the same thing every fucking movie. Let's get a bunch of teenagers, go to either a camp or a house, and then we're gonna get slow. We're gonna have a lot of sex, do some dumb shit, and then we're gonna all get killed by this killer. That's literally all this movie is. There's no story to me.
I think for the most part, anytime the people you watch that every time for this, anybody who watches should know if they're a slasher fan of slasher or anything like that. Most of the time, you're rooting for that. You just want to see these people get killed in a cool way, and you probably end up liking the dude doing the killing. Like Freddy's dope, Jason's cool, Michael Myers is cool, Leatherface is cool. Like I mean, that's who I root for. I want to see. Obviously, this first one isn't Jason, but that's who I root for. Like in these movies.
Spoiler alert!
Oh god!
For a movie that's 42 years old. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like a lot of people, I think, dislike this film because the fact that Jason isn't the killer. But it's like you do realize, like when this movie came out, that wasn't the idea. Like when when Victor Miller was writing the movie, his idea was, which I really like the concept of the fact that like this woman is, she's grieving for her child and she's taking it out on these camp counselors because it's kind of a revenge tale. Like she's like, you killed my kid. I'm going to take you all out. And I like that twist at the end.
Well, she even and it's even more than that because she even mentions that she did things to try to keep it closed, like poisoning like the water supply out there and tampering with the electricity and stuff to keep the camp closed. She did not want it being opened back up for any reason. So it's not just she just goes in there and ISIS some motherfuckers because they open it back up. She legit just didn't want it open.
Right.
But she still goes in there and ISIS.
Oh yeah, she just destroys. Betsy Palmer is fantastic as Mrs. Voorhees. What do we think of our final girl, Alice, played by Adrienne King? How do you feel she did as the final girl? She faces off, goes toe to toe with Mrs. V at the end.
I don't really. This is a problem because it's been a minute since I've seen this one. I think she was all right. I don't know. She felt like a final girl. She felt like, to me, if I remember correctly, like a very like middle of the road. Like she's a fine, lady that makes it out at the end, kind of thing. Like it's kind of like the movie. It's okay. Like she's decent. Doesn't do nothing great, but doesn't suck. So
kills were cool.
Yes.
Kills are really cool, especially for the time. This is 1980. There's a lot of. I mean, that's what I appreciate about classic horror is that you're getting a lot of practical.
Yes.
Where now it's all CG. I mean, there is practical effects still today in filming, but most they didn't have that. The visual effects that we have now, so they had to. You wanted to get a really cool kill, you had to come up with some really weird idea to make it look as realistic as possible, even though, some of them look, you could tell they look fake, but for the time, this came out in 1980, they looked really cool. Like Kevin Bacon's death with the arrow going through his neck, like the whole concept of how they actually did it was really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And like I said, I always forget when this movie was made. Like I always forget that it was 1980 when this movie came out.
Yeah. I mean,
It's really old.
This was, I mean, if you think of like notable slashers before that, I mean, you had Halloween, which was like the big dog. But even before that, you had, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you had Black Christmas. there was probably other ones that I can't remember at the moment, but like, Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't out yet. Child's Play wasn't out yet.
Nope.
Scream was still, 16 years away. This
Leprechaun wasn't out yet.
Oh, Jesus. Yep. Sorry. I forgot Leppy Boy.
No, God forbid.
Leppy Boy. Jesus
Hellraiser.
Christ. Hellraiser. Yeah. I mean, this, as I'll put it in quotations, generic as this film may be, as a slasher, I think it did a great job for what it was, for the budget, for kind of, the idea they were trying to convey. But the problem is that the reason we got 11 Friday the 13th films is because they saw dollars. They're like, oh, well, we got to change our shit up.
Well, and also the fact that back in this day, a lot of these slashers and stuff were more grindhouse affair.
Mhm.
So they weren't like in every big theater house in the country, and they actually did that with this movie.
Yeah, the marketing was insane for this movie.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck it, just put it in a bunch of theaters, which is, like you said, not normal at this time.
No.
So
this was marketed as a big budgeted film. And that's always going to attract some people. Where those grindhouse theaters, you're not going to make, you might make your budget back, maybe. But putting it into theaters all across the country, next to, whatever, it's just, I think it actually beat out The Shining, which came out.
Yeah, it did. I think it did.
The Shining came out, I think, 2 weeks after Friday, and it made more money than it, which is wild to think about when you think of like, when you put, for me, when you put The Shining and Friday together, The Shining is far superior to Friday, but it's the marketing. Marketing can do a lot.
This is the same thing that happened with films like Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project. Like they were dirt cheap films to make, but they were just marketed so damn well that everybody went and fucking saw them.
Yeah. Music by Harry Manfredini. I really like the music in these films. I like just the tonal cues that you get when the killer's around. The characters, of course, are very generic. One thing I don't like, they killed a snake on set, a real snake.
Yeah,
it's not cool.
Yeah, shit.
Wasn't cool. Yeah, it was something. No. Yeah, what the fuck, man? Really messed up.
It's a load of dicks, dude.
And he didn't.
Leave that poor snake alone. Well, this is before the era. This is unfortunately that era where that happened on screen.
Somebody's pet.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying this is something that was more common at that time.
Yeah,
like on-screen animal death. It's not cool at all, but that was a thing that happened, unfortunately.
We get some really, I better have given him a good payout for that.
Yeah.
No shit.
So the basic plot of this movie is back in the 50s, this couple is about to do the deed up in the attic of this cabin, and they get interrupted by somebody and they get killed. And pretty much the whole thing is the camp gets reopened like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And this unknown killer goes around taking out all the people that are trying to reopen the camp. That is literally the gist of this story. And by the end, you realize, you figure out that the mother of the drowned child is the killer, Mrs. Voorhees. She's not Pamela yet. She only goes by Mrs. Voorhees, played by Betsy Palmer, who at the time thought this movie was going to be a big pile of shit.
But she needed a new car.
She needed a new car, so she took the job, and she did a fantastic job with it.
Yeah.
All right, so since this is the first film, we're going to every category is going to be, so our final girl, of course, is Alice. Our killer is Mrs. Voorhees. And the film is, of course, Friday the 13th from 1980. Anything else we want to add about Friday the 13th before we move on to Friday Part 2? Poster's cool. I like the poster for this movie.
Poster's cool.
Really cool. Really cool.
What
Probably
are you
one of my
looking for?
favorites of the Friday franchise.
It's got a good poster.
Very good.
I don't think there's anything else to add. I think we covered all that needs to be covered as far as Friday the 13th.
I agree.
Kind of
I agree. All right. Moving on to Friday the 13th Part 2. You go from a really cool poster to this most generic poster, just as Friday the 13th Part 2. Thanks.
Way to keep it vague.
Yeah. So this movie came out 10 months after Friday 1. That's
a quick turnaround.
Yeah. This one was directed by Steve Miner. Yes, we have discussed a Steve Miner film on this podcast before. He directed Lake Placid in 1999. Yes. He directed Halloween H2O the year prior to that in 1998. And he directed Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3. And he was also a producer for the original Friday the 13th. So he was an integral part to getting this franchise out there.
Yeah.
The budget was significantly bigger at $1.25 million, and it made $21.7 million at the box office, which is a significant drop from the original. But I don't feel the marketing was probably as good as it was, for the original, because, you're trying to get your franchise off the ground now. It's like, well, people know what it is. They see it. Either you're interested or you're not.
Yep.
This is just I don't know. What you guys talk about? What do you guys think of Friday Part 2?
Better than the first one.
What now?
Is it better than the first one?
I think it is. And but my leaning on that is for a couple reasons. You go ahead. You explain the reasons.
I just think it's more put together. It's put together better. I felt like I don't know. I felt like the first one kind of jumped around a lot, like between scenes.
It was boring.
Yeah,
There's a lot of drawn out scenes with the original.
Yeah. It was boring.
It had a little more. I think for this one, the reason I like this more is because it's actually Jason. So that's a big thing for me. Even if it's Baghead Jason, I'll take it. Got to do something with your sacks of potatoes, your potato sacks, whatever.
Yeah.
We got some cool people. We got a wheelchair dude. Never think of his fucking. I don't remember half these fucking people's names. I just know them by things
Mark.
in it, right?
Mark, is wheelchair guy.
I like wheelchair guy. I like the little girl that's with him, with she's just trying to get on that dick, bad. This whole movie is hilarious.
This is a horny crew.
Very,
very horny,
but not the most horny we've had.
Yeah.
No,
but
it'll get worse.
I like the final girl in this a lot because there's a little more to her, which we'll explain a little bit more. And I just think it's a slightly more revised thing, even though it's literally outside of it being Jason, it's just recycling. I mean, it's a lot. That's what these movies do. They just recycle what was before.
Right.
And it has the dumbest scene of just somebody getting naked for no fucking reason ever. And I think it's hilarious. With the one sporty chick with the short hair, she's like, I'm walking by water. Well, fuck, it's nighttime. Nobody's here. Just gets naked. It's like, yeah, why? Why? I thought that was like a crew activity. You get a bunch of people together and you did that. But maybe this person, well, ain't nobody else around. Why the fuck not? So,
right. If I'm gonna go, if I'm walking by a lake and I'm by myself at night, for one, I probably wouldn't be going swimming by myself just because I've seen too many of these freaking movies to be like, I'm good. But also, if I'm probably wearing shorts. I'm just gonna go swimming in the shorts. I'm not gonna go fucking. I don't want to get naked. I don't want my dingling fucking flopping around that dirty ass lake. What the
right?
Fuck? Come on.
Nobody wants none of that, dude.
No,
nobody wants none of that, dude.
That's how you get diseases. We forgot to talk about Crazy Ralph in the original, but he makes a return in this one, so I guess we could talk about him now. He is,
yeah, that's true.
He is such a great character. There's you're all doomed, and then rides away on his bicycle.
Ding 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 ding.
It's great. But yeah, Ginny, great final girl.
Oh, I love her. She's fantastic.
She's awesome. You got her generic boy. I feel the boyfriends of the final girls are just some of the most basic generic guys. They're just that preppy strong guy, but then he gets killed in the dumbest way possible.
Oh, I don't even remember how he dies, but that's usually how it goes. Yes.
I don't even know if he does die. Does he die?
He has to die.
I think he died
don't
at the
fucking
end.
remember.
I don't remember.
I don't fucking remember.
But so this film takes place 2 months after the original. We have a dude that's, stalking Alice, our part 1 final girl. And Alice is, doing her thing, and she opens up her fridge. She finds Mrs. V's, or she finds a dead head, she finds a head in her fridge, and then gets stabbed in the temple with an ice pick. And then it goes to 5 years later, which I didn't know that was the case until I was going through. I want to shout out Dead Meat and their kill counts, because they helped a lot with me remembering things that happened in these movies, because going through 11 Friday the 13th movies is just, it's a lot of work. So thank you.
That was
Dead
a lot
Meat
of our
and your
refresher
kill
as
counts.
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some I hadn't even watched, so it was just some of it was new to me.
So we got new camp counselors that go into Camp Crystal Lake, and that's when they run into Crazy Ralph again. They're on a phone in a phone booth, "You're doomed. Where are you going? You're doomed." I'm like, all right, Crazy.
It's a collect call. Leave me alone.
Yeah, get out of here,
This shit
man.
ain't cheap.
Do you have quarters? Because I'm gonna charge you.
No shit.
We meet Ginny and her. We got Paul Holt, who's telling a story.
Paul
Holt.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And he's telling a campfire story about Jason. Our boy Crazy Ralph, he dies in a very stupid way. You find out when you go through this franchise that the MPAA did not like the Friday the 13th franchise, so once we get farther into the franchise, there's going to be a lot of kills that could have been good, but they had to be trimmed down. But yeah, we got 10 minutes worth of titties at one point in one of the films.
But
yeah, dude.
Boy, titties are cool. Titties are, what was that word I just made up? Titties are cool. But blood, not so much.
No boy,
not a movie.
Not
Not a movie.
Titties.
Titties are go. They're very good. So, yeah, we get really just funny kills in this one. I like the sheriff who sees the guy walk across the street. He's got to chase him through the woods. Come back here, boy.
Yeah. What are you doing, boy?
He finds a cabin in the middle of the woods, and he dies with a hammer.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Yeah, to the back of the head.
Why? Just go away.
We get, the some of the kills were kind of lame. I except for
Savini wasn't here.
Yeah,
so.
Savini wasn't here, unfortunately. One of the best kills is probably Mark. He was a guy in the wheelchair who gets hit with the machete, and then he wheels down the fucking stairs.
Poor guy, dude.
Yeah, poor dude.
Of his face.
Yeah, you get very just hey guys, you want to see some boobs? Here you go. And it's that really fit girl who's got it must have been 25 degrees because her nips are fucking poking out like crazy, and then she just strips down. Then you got the pervy guy on the shore
yeah, right.
And he dies.
Yeah.
Yep. And it doesn't. It just gets worse from here when it comes to the perviest shit in the world. Just some of these directors literally came out and were yeah, that TNA, we did it for us, not for them. You're like, whoa, that's just not right. That's weird.
Here's looking at you, part 5.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the guy that did the pornos?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That was so cringy just to hear him talk about it.
But another great kill of this movie is definitely the couple who get stabbed together with the spear.
Oh, on the bed?
In the bed. Oh, that one was cool as hell. And then that's when we finally see full, formed baghead Jason.
He just comes out of the, under the blankets.
Yeah.
Hello!
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
They're like, oh, somebody didn't clean up their mess. As there's blood-soaked sheets and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. And then baghead Jason's like, I forgot to cut a hole in the other side of the mask. I can't see shit.
Depth perception.
He's stabbing the wall, and the girl's like, I gotta go.
I don't know what's wrong with him. He's been stabbing this post for 3 minutes.
How did he kill anyone? Oh, man. So, and of course, this is all this is happening, and Paul and Ginny aren't even there. they're like at a bar and they're like, let's go back. And then they come back and they're like, oh shit, what's going on? And that's when they notice the blood soaked sheets. So they're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, that's not right. And shit just happens. Jason fights with Paul and Ginny runs away. Paul. But Paul he doesn't die. He just gets knocked the fuck out by Jason, and then Ginny runs away. I love that Ginny just beats the shit out of Jason. She literally like hits him with everything. She's got a fucking chainsaw. And
yeah, dude.
This is literally a dude, and I'm like, it's just that's the thing is like they brought Jason back, even though a lot of the original creators were like, this wasn't the point, but whatever, we'll move on from it. But he was a guy, like he was just a dude who could be killed. And you can tell when at that final shot when he comes through the window and he's this like deformed, the Hills Have Eyes style creature.
Yep.
Which is great. But this I like the scene where Ginny dresses up like Mrs. Voorhees and tells him to like, stop what he's doing, and he's just like, oh, Mom.
Yeah, because they allude to her having a degree in child psychology.
Yes.
Which is great. She actually has she probably has the most depth out of anybody in this fucking show.
Yep.
Like this movie. Yeah. Though again, there are some other good characters. Like I said, Mark and the other girl he's with. It's pretty fun. Just their comments and stuff. So.
But everything goes awry when Jason sees his mom's head behind her, and he like snaps out of the spell, and then he goes to attack her, and Paul comes in and attacks him, and then Ginny hacks at Jason, and you're like,
the shoulder, right?
Yep, everything's gonna be okay. And then Jason pops out through the window, attacks her, and then she wakes up on a stretcher, going to the hospital, and that's it. That's Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah, we have to have that window jump scare because they did it at the end of the first one, and that becomes a stereotype for a lot of these movies. Yep, this franchise is just end of movie jump scares. We didn't mention it in Part 1. You get Swampy Boy Jason jumping up and attacking Alice, which is a very, to be honest, it's a very iconic shot in horror history. Yeah,
even though it was something that just was kind of dumb if you think about it. All right, so let's do our rankings here. So where do we is Ginny better than Alice?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Is Baghead Jason better than Mrs. Voorhees?
Mm-hmm. For me, personally.
Okay. I'm gonna put Baghead Jason. Since he's
gotta specify.
And where is this one better than the original?
I think so. I think pacing wise, writing, characters, even though they're still not fucking great by any stretch, but the first one had better kills and better special effects. I think as a whole, this movie just edges it out.
I agree with all of that. Angela, you have any final thoughts on this before we move on to Part 3?
No.
She just wants some pizza.
She just wants some pizza? I mean, I'm down for some pizza.
We have literally while we're recording this, we literally have the kill count episodes playing like on this other screen.
Oh, okay.
So like while we're doing
watch it, we can't hear it. We're just watching.
Yeah. It's just going.
It was the pizza episode or pizza scene.
Yeah. Well, no, it was the lady that plays when the two get impaled on the bed with the spear. Yeah. She plays the girl, and she was a pizza delivery person in a later movie. And that's where I was
Slumber Party Massacre 2, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Yeah. Like I'm not saying I just think
she was underage for the making of Part 2.
She was 7?
They couldn't show any nudity in it.
Oh, the tatties.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the girl that was swimming naked certainly didn't have any problem.
Yeah, you'll get some more of that later.
Her top was short enough that if she made a wrong move at any point,
it's like a poke in the eye.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. On to Friday the 13th, Part 3. 3D.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
This was the era of 3D films. We've already talked about one 3D film on this show with Jaws 3D already.
Oh,
so why not add Jason and his shenanigans to this? already going to just state the most boring Jason so far in the franchise. Just slumbering, like
apathetic.
Can I just say this movie sucks? This movie is just bad.
It's not very good.
It's a bad movie. Shelley, you're a terrible character. Please stop. And people will be like, well, he might have, he might be special needs. And it's like, there's no indication that he is.
He's just a douchebag.
So don't make me feel guilty for that. He just sucks. He's just a shitty character.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
No, there's my thoughts on this movie. What are your guys' thoughts on part 3?
Okay. Go ahead, babe. Unless you want me to go.
I mean, yeah, there were some cool kills. I thought there was some very interesting. Seeing it in not the original, seeing it in better resolution, seeing certain things that
oh yeah. Yes.
that you probably that you're not supposed to see. I hated the 3D elements.
Oh god, it's so stupid.
The guy at the one guy with the pole at the
beginning. Whoa!
And he's like, you can see him. You can see him looking to make sure that he
look like it's coming towards you.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Sorry, I got 2 different cameras, so I got to do that gag twice.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. There's just parts of it that I hated.
Love the cover.
Yeah.
Though. Love the poster for this movie. It's really cool.
Poster's good.
Font, the knife cut or the machete coming through. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it was first movie we get the actual hockey mask.
Yep.
So that's dope. But I agree, Shelley sucks. The pacing for this movie is just it's not as good. It's most of the characters are just awful, more so than normal. I don't think the final girl's that great. Chris? I cannot stand the implied rape angle that's in this movie. I think it's dumb.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
What the hell was
that? So stupid.
Jason is just a lumbering child of a man, lumbering around killing people because people killed his mom. That's literally the gist of Jason. But like when you're adding this Jason as a rapist, you're like,
yeah.
Don't be bringing titties and shit for him. Like you can have titties for everybody else. He don't care.
That's a storyline for Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. We don't need that in the Friday the 13th franchise.
Nope.
Right?
The best parts about this movie for me are we get that awesome handstand kill.
Yeah,
which is a good kill.
Kills are great in this movie. Kills are great.
It's the best kill. It's the best kill. And then there's a really cool shot of the Fangoria issue where it's got 25 years of Godzilla in it.
25 years. Where are we at now? 60 something?
Yeah, we're at what, 2002. So 60. This year will be 60. No, 2022. It'll be 66 years.
Going back in time. I'm gonna go see Jason X in theaters tomorrow.
Please, let's do it.
See you later, guys.
I already did that once. Let's do it again. But yeah,
Parker would still be a baby.
He's a baby, Parker.
I'd be 11. That's not baby. I'd be like preteen. I'm just going through the change. I'm starting to grow hair in places I don't want to.
I'd be 2 years from graduating high school.
Same.
All right. Well, I'm sorry your parents had sex before mine.
Right? No, it's pretty meh. It's a pretty meh movie, like overall. I mean, it's like you said, there's some decent kills, but that's about it. Like that's like just the kills. That's it.
Can they just make a commentary track for this movie where every time a 3D effect it happens, it's just James Agnew going, "Oh, I need that every time."
Please.
Perfect.
I hated the shop owner.
But this is the one with the biker crew, too.
And his wife.
The biker crew sucked, too.
Oh, dude. Oh, this is so bad.
The dude gets... because the dude gets pitchforked. He gets bitchforked.
So this was also...
talking to me.
Yep. Tell me to stop. We're recording. Damn. Shut up, phone.
And also Paul Holt's not in this one.
No, well, he died. Well, I mean, I don't know if he died. Did he die? I don't know.
I don't know.
So again, this was directed by Steve Miner.
Sorry, Steve.
Music again was done by Harry Manfredini. He also did part 2 as well. He's pretty much does the music for most of the films up until I think 7 or 8 is when it starts going to a different composer. His music's fantastic. The problem is like they didn't know how to do opening credits for these movies. It was just like black with words. names. You're like, okay, cool.
That seems to be a trope that went for a while.
Yeah. Budget was $2.2 million, and most of that was for the 3D effects. And the box office worldwide was $36.7 million. So an improvement from part 2. I think it was mostly because the 3D of the 3D. I'm gonna put that in quotations for all my audio listeners. Quotation 3D. That definitely attracted people in. You know, they wanted to see. It was a fad back in the early 80s. Movies trying to do this 3D effect. You know, like I said, Friday the 13th came out. This came out in 82. Jaws 3D came out in 83. I think they did an Amityville 3D movie in like 84. It was a weird phase. I mean, we got it again years later, but it was much improved. The 3D effects in this movie are laughable. You see wires. I mean, to be honest though, probably one of my favorite kills has to be generic Chris's boyfriend there. I can't remember what the hell his name. The one who gets his head squeezed.
Oh, that's
and his eye pops out and just
yeah, God.
It's great. Also, you don't remember that?
No, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember it either. Just a guy. But one of my favorite parts of this movie, it has probably one of the funniest parts of any Friday film, or I should say movie, sorry. These aren't films, these are movies. Is the woman, the one who's getting high in the back, who joins them to part of like the group there, and she's running. And she's kind of like going around the cabin. They're all dead. They're dead. Like, somebody help! But she's doing it so lackadaisical. It's just so funny. She's going up and down the stairs. It's so great. Oh my God! I laugh out loud so much with that.
Are we just going for a Sunday stroll? Like,
seriously,
no rush here.
There's no sense of urgency from this woman, but her just going, they're all dead. Oh, somebody help me. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, Lord. I figured I'd shout this out, but it was the first film to remove E.T. from the #1 box office spot and became the second highest grossing horror film of 1982 behind Poltergeist.
That's surprising.
So it did pretty good. I mean, it was probably E.T. at the end of its run, so I'm not gonna hold on there.
Well, and also, I mean, this was before the slasher genre was really oversaturated. Yeah. Like this was like the heyday, like the early 80s. So late 70s, early 80s. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. We said it before, but this is the first time we see Jason with the hockey mask. Of course, hockey, and of course he gets it from the worst fucking character, Shelly.
Shit.
But this had some really. I think that the kills were pretty good in this movie. I think I'll give that a plus. Jason sucked, to be honest. I didn't like the way that Jason's portrayed in this movie. I don't like he literally kills the girl with the freaking harpoon and then literally walks the slowest walk back to the freaking barn. Like, dude,
mopey stroll.
Yeah, literally. That I was waiting for that music to like come up from behind. Yeah. And in the whole scene in the barn where he's like trying to find Chris, and he's just like tearing things apart, not really looking. Like he's just like he's dumb. Really cool scene though, where he gets hung and he pulls himself out of the noose.
Yeah. That was.
He literally like pulled it was like this is like you could tell this Jason was a tank. Like his shoulders were like. Dude, he was a monster. He just wasn't a very good Jason.
No, not at all.
So, and he dies. That's the gist of this. Well, at least you think he does. He gets stabbed with a pitchfork, and then he's laying there dead. And Chris, of course, she has a vision, because that's how all the Friday movies have to end, is the fake out. She's in a boat, and you're like, oh no, is a freaking watery, swampy something gonna come out? Which originally they had a cut, which had a swampy woman, Mrs. Voorhees, jumping out and grabbing her, but instead it was Jason without his mask on,
so glad
seeing her and then running out and then she wakes
up.
Oh
yeah, running out of the house, right? Because like sees her through the window.
Yeah.
The hell.
It's so dumb. It was dumb. But overall,
I'm just glad they cut out the boat scene though.
Yeah.
Like, don't reuse that
I thought it was funny
anymore.
though. This movie wasn't even filmed on a lake. It was filmed like they had to make the
Yeah.
lake
Yeah.
by hand. So you could tell it was just terrible looking.
Like, guys, you could just go find a lake.
There's plenty.
Oh boy. Yep, that was a movie.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Oh, it's Rick. Rick is the one who gets his head squeezed. He's the boyfriend of Chris. Yeah. And it was probably my favorite kill of the whole movie. The biker
That's
gang,
fair.
Pointless, dumb, didn't like it.
Yeah.
The 3D effects, dumb, didn't need to be a thing, but hey, it was the time. Where are we putting Chris as our on our final girl list? Currently, it's Ginny and then Alice. Putting her at number 3.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
put her at the bottom.
So
Everything's
Chris,
at the bottom. Just everything.
all right. So Chris, I probably should put which ones these people are in, so I don't forget.
And just in case there's another fucking Chris later that we don't remember.
Right. All right. Where are we putting part 3 Jason?
Put him at the bottom. I don't like him.
Okay. I agree.
With the way he acts, with the implied rape angle, outside of the cool scene in the news,
Yeah,
I don't think.
Such a stupid thing to add on.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
We're gonna add this rape stuff. It's like, but it's not Jason. That's not what this character is about. Like, you don't add, like, I don't know what you're trying to do. No one gives a shit about the goddamn stories of these movies. Okay, we just want cool kills. That's what we want.
Yep.
Stop
I
it.
liked her kill.
Huh?
I liked her kill.
Oh, with the pitchfork? Yeah,
Yeah,
when she gets pitchforked into that like
The female.
that truss.
Oh,
going
the
across
female
the-
biker.
female
Yeah,
biker.
Fox or whatever her
Yeah.
name is.
She was cool. That was a cool
I
kill.
like that kill.
And this dude
Even though
Loco
you
doesn't
don't
get too
see
bad, where it
it.
goes all the way through and he reaches around and touches the spikes on the other side and
Yep.
falls over dead. Yeah.
All
There's some
we're-
decent kills in it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the kills. I like the kills. I think it was the fact that Jason was boring.
All the characters sucked.
The characters were just
All
kind of.
of
There was
them.
no. I felt like there was no relationship with any of these characters. Like they didn't feel like they knew each other for real. It was just like,
Yeah.
nope, these are a bunch of people who were acting. And they had to make a movie, and it just didn't come out great. Where are we putting part 3 on our film list? Currently, it's part 2 and then 1.
I'm gonna say 3.
I'm gonna say 3.
All right.
I don't. It's pretty
Friday.
shit, dude.
13th. Part 3 on the bottom. All right, moving on to Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is when it starts getting
Final
freaking
chapter.
good, baby.
Yes,
This is
it
when it
does.
starts getting good because this is the start of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy.
Yes.
And the first person to portray this character on screen is everybody's favorite 80s child, Corey Feldman.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah. We also
I'm
got
not a big
Crispin
Corey
Glover in this movie.
Yeah, you do.
We have Joseph Zito as the director, who before this had done The Prowler, which is another great underrated slasher film from the 80s. What's our thoughts on Friday the 13th, the final chapter?
It's good.
At this point, it's probably my favorite.
It's really good. Like it's quite good because they brought it back. They brought back, like you said, a lot. Like Savini came back.
Yep.
They brought back. I don't know. I like the characters in it. Like I like Tommy Jarvis. They turned into like a reoccurring character in the franchise. Even though we had this, obviously, the final girl from 1 into 2, even though she gets killed. But I like how she's back. I like the whole Jarvis family. You got Crispin Glover, some of the dudes in some of just the regular like body fodder.
Wait, did you say there's a final girl that's back from a prior movie in this one?
Yeah. No. I was just saying it's nice to have a recurring character that comes back, counting the final girl from the first into the second one, because you got Jarvis for the next several films, which is really nice. Like I like the fact that you kind of get that little bit of that continuity. But yeah, I think it's you got the great kills from Savini. I think the writing's better, the kills are better, the characters are pretty good. Even though I feel like there's some characters who are just there, but that's pretty typical just to be people that get killed. So
yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point in the series, this is my top
yeah.
for
I agree.
kills, characters, you know.
Somebody's a dead fuck in it. Everybody gets naked.
Oh
There's
my
like a
God.
super
More,
like
How many
everybody's
times are you
like,
gonna
More
hear the word
boobs.
dead fuck? Yeah, there's a lot of TNA in this movie. A lot.
oh yeah.
And you have a
yeah.
small child who is seeing all this in real life and reacting
Mhm.
exactly how a child of that age is going to react to seeing
Oh, absolutely.
these things.
I love his reaction on the bed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I do want to fix what I said about
just
Jason in the
excited.
prior film. He doesn't die from a pitchfork, and he dies from the machete in the mask.
Man,
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where he
or it
gets
was an
his-
axe, right? Was it an axe?
And I think
an axe.
it was an axe. Because it leaves the notch in his mask that's there for I think in every subsequent film. Well, yeah.
For me, this is top tier Friday. This is definitely one.
Oh, yeah.
Probably top 3 for me. I really
Yep.
like the whole start of this Jarvis trilogy. Would you count the final girl being his sister? Or is this one of those Fridays that doesn't really have a final girl, where it's mostly because Tommy's involved as well?
I guess I'd consider his sister the final girl if you were to give one, but Tommy being in here does change it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So this movie was released April 13th, 1984. Budget of $2.6 million. The budget, as you can tell, as every single movie, you get a little bit more money. And the box office was $33 million. Angela looks like she needs to say something really bad.
No, it was just the part with Crispin Glover dancing.
Yes, which he did himself, which is
That just
awesome.
popped up. It's hilarious.
Dude,
I'm
that
like,
guy-
dude, are you okay?
Crispin Glover is a wacky dude.
That dude with that dance, he must slay so much pussy, dude. Like it's fucking
No,
nuts.
he got busy with a Doublemint twin. What do you mean?
It's true.
Yeah.
That just throws me off every time I see it, because I'm like,
it's so
for-
good.
for being made up,
Oh man.
I'm like, yeah, you definitely did something there.
Fucking God.
So this movie was directed by Joseph Zito, who, like I said, he did The Prowler,
The movie I want to see.
which came out 3 years before, which was also effects were also done by Tom Savini in that film. So it was good.
Got some gnarly fucking
them
kills
back.
in The Prowler.
Right. And there's some kills that are kind of reminiscent to The Prowler in this one. You have
Yes.
a shower kill that is
Yeah.
very similar to
Oh,
a Prowler
yes.
kill. But instead of it being the woman, it's the guy instead, and the kill is just fucking cool as hell.
Oh, it's so fucking
So
good.
cool.
Not my favorite, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just the way that the movie opens, how it connects itself to part 3, the way that this movie just has really good kills, and Jason's way better in this movie.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so much cooler. And the way that it ends, this is where you get this is called the final chapter for a reason. This was supposed to be the end of this franchise. And of course, all the Paramount was seeing was dollar bills. So, they were like, final chapter. No, now we're going to go into a weird, once we get to part 5 and on, it just gets fucking out of control. It's absolutely out of control.
Final chapter, that shit's just marketing.
Yeah, literally. But all in all, this is a great film. Like I said, there's a lot of TNA. There's a lot of, your generic Friday the 13th stuff. The fact you guys are watching this while we're doing this, and I'm seeing your reaction,
sorry.
I don't know if it's towards me or towards what you're watching.
No, it's the mortician at the beginning, because I hate the fucking mortician. And then when Jason's hand comes down and like
Fucking
touches this
Axel.
girl, he's like, "Fuck God, blah 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 blah." He just carries on with the scene for like
so long.
But the
Axel
way he
sucks,
dies
man.
is so good.
I
It's
hated
great.
him.
He gets his
His
head
kills.
twisted around. The kills are great. This movie. The fucking. Is this the one where the guy's in the basement and he's like, he's killing me? He's killing me.
It is.
He's killing
There's a few like this opening part, and then his death, and probably a couple other ones, but those are the most notable, like over the top
so much
acting
fun.
death. It's ridiculous.
I mean, the kills are really awesome in this movie. I mean,
they're great.
One of the girls gets tossed out a window onto a car, and it like explodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that's how that works.
Nope, it's not how it works, but hey, whatever.
Go ahead.
A girl gets literally harpooned to the house.
Yeah.
The most disappointing kill though probably is Mrs. Jarvis, because she's killed off screen, and it's like, well, I feel like you could have just kept her alive.
You don't even
that she gets killed off.
Yeah, you don't even see what happens to her.
No,
like she just gets killed.
No, you
off
don't.
Screen.
She literally just makes a face like and then it's on to the next. The guy though, the guy who gets killed in the basement.
Yeah,
the fact that like they pick him up on the side of the road and then bring him back to the house, and they're just like, "Come on in, strange guy. Go up to my 11-year-old's room. It's fine."
Yeah,
right.
Wait a second.
This is totally normal.
This is normal thing. Yeah,
not okay.
And he's asking some really weird questions that you would just be like, I'm just gonna drop you off, dude. Can you not? Yeah.
In the Tommy's room, though, you had pointed out some of the
props.
The props
in Tommy's room. That one of them is actually a head and like hands from Gamera. Like cool. They made their own. Like somebody's a kaiju fan.
We also talk about how an 11-year-old. There's no way an 11-year-old are making masks that detailed.
No, absolutely not.
But hey,
I love his little alien mask though.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, his masks look better in this one than they do in 5, but that's beside the point.
Right. One of my favorite, a scene that kind of makes me chuckle, because I can guarantee if I had seen the same exact thing, I would react in the same exact way, is when Tommy looks over and a girl is changing in the room across the way. And he's a kid. Yeah. He's seeing these things for the first time, and he's just jumping up and down, like shoving his face into his back. Like I'd react the same. I can guarantee I probably would have reacted the same exact way if I saw those things at that age.
His reaction to that. And
it's not cool to be a peeping Tom. Like, that's not what I'm saying. No. It's not. I'm not saying it's cool to be a peeping Tom, but like, shut your curtains if you don't want people to see those things.
Right? Like nobody knows how to shut their curtains.
I'm making this worse than it actually needs to be. All right, just don't be a creep. That's the. I'm just stating I would have reacted the same way Tommy did in that scene.
Yeah.
At that age.
I mean, at that age.
Music, again, done by Harry Manfredini. So, of course, it's going to be just as good as it has been in the prior films. We still get the most generic title sequence possible. There's no creativity in these things.
Except for when the title explodes.
That's true.
We get Banana Girl. Don't forget about Banana Girl.
Yes.
Fuck you. She gets killed, and the banana she squeezes the banana real tight. Yeah, great. The fucking pervy guy, he sucks. Can't remember what his name was, but he sucks. Pete, I think it was, or something like that. Is it Pete?
He watches the old porn.
Yeah, and he's calling. Was it a dead? And then that's where he's the one who comes up with the dead fuck term, and Crispin Glover says dead fuck about 14 times in this movie.
Yeah.
The scene where Crispin Glover's character brings the girl, one of the Doubleman twins, up to the bed, and the bed breaks. I wonder if that was part of it, or if the bed just broke on accident. They just kept going with the scene.
Just roll with it. Improvise.
That's fine. Yeah.
Same character.
Yeah. And then you got the other guy who was with a girl and then ends up going with a different girl, and you're like,
right?
What the frick?
Like, this is not the girl you started with.
Nope, this is a weird. I love the Jarvis house though.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Love it. Such a cool house. It's been used for other movies as well, which I thought was really cool. I mean, overall, this is a great movie. The end sequence with the final showdown between Tommy, his sister, and Jason, really cool. Yep. Jason freaking busting through the window to snag Tommy, which was freaking awesome. The fact that you find out that Corey Feldman didn't know it was going to happen.
Yes. Said that messed him up for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when they do that to people. especially him being so young, but I love the legitimate reaction that you get out of it.
I mean, it all occurred because Corey Feldman was a little shit to the guy who played Jason, and it was kind of like a gotcha type moment.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. But yeah, the final showdown, I love the whole, you rips the mask off, or the mask breaks off, I think. And Tommy finds a picture of Jason when he was a kid, and so he makes himself look like Jason to kind of fuck with him. And the kill is Jason's death is so fucking cool, where he gets the machete right in the face, then he falls onto the machete, and it pushes it down.
And
it just slides down. Oh, man. So cool. So cool. And and then the sister wakes up in the hospital, and Tommy has the mask, and you think Tommy attacks her, but you really don't know. It all kind of is there's really no solid ending to this movie. It kind of just goes to black, and you're like, okay.
Keeps it ambiguous.
Yeah. So this movie was just a blast to watch. I had a lot of fun with this one. Go ahead, Dan.
My favorite kill of this whole movie is simple, but it is my favorite. Just how it's filmed and everything that happens is hey man, where's the corkscrew? And puts it through his hand, and then when he turns around, just whack right to the face. That butcher knife.
So good.
It's filmed. It's not overly complicated. It's not overly gory, but it's just the way it's shot is just so good for me.
It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I like the pervy guy getting killed.
What guy?
The pervy guy.
Oh, through
the screen.
Projector screen.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that too.
Yeah, like I said, kills really cool in this movie. Other than Mrs. Jarvis, the kills are really cool in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, for our rankings, do we want to say Jarvis, the Jarvis sister, or do we put Tommy in his sister?
Well, I think in all the movies, there's at least one girl that gets out with him. So you can pair them together?
Yeah, it's Tommy's sister in this one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always him for the next 3 films. It's him and another girl. So, you just want to pair them together just for the next 3?
Yeah, we can do that. So Trish and Tommy Jarvis, where are we putting them?
I'd put them
I'd put them at top. Just because I'm not a big diehard Feldman person, but they do a great job. They come off believably as older sister, younger brother, kind of thing. And he acts he does a good job acting like a kid. I mean, that's why he got a lot of those roles when he was younger. I mean, he does a great job.
With the whole pretending to be Jason and throwing him off.
Yeah, that's really cool. Jason, where's he going?
Oh God, I'd have to put him at the top. I love him in this movie. Yeah. I think he does a great job.
It's a great Jason.
He is really good.
And of course, I mean, I feel we all can agree that this is the best of so far as we go through.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. But guess what? You thought it was the end. No. It's just a new beginning. We are now on Friday the 13th, part 5, a new beginning. The tagline, if Jason still haunts you, you're not alone.
Yes.
This was what they call the sleaziest fucking Friday movie of the entire franchise. This movie is just a softcore porn with Jason Voorhees.
Yep, it's true.
Oh, well, actually, spoiler alert, not even Jason Voorhees, because he's not the killer in this movie.
Nope. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Joke's on you, motherfucker.
Oh
the
my
title card.
God.
I mean, really, how simplistic is that?
It's awful.
They just made it in Microsoft Paint or something.
Somebody made it in Word.
Yeah. Good enough.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, was released March 22nd, 1985. $2.2 million budget, the same as Part 4, and made $22 million at the box office. So definitely lower than the last two before it. And I mean, this movie sucks. This movie's bad. Like it's not good. I mean, if you're a young kid and you wanted to see some, you know, you're looking for something to go see some easy TNA, go rent Friday the 13th Part 5. Don't tell your parents, you know, what was in it. There you go. Easy. Because that is what this movie is. It is just a Friday the 13th porn. It was directed by Danny Steinman, who is pretty much well known for doing pornography films and other trash films that no one really wants to talk about.
Cool. Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, the opening to this movie is pretty cool. I like the whole flash, the kind of the dream sequence of, you know, Tommy Jarvis, young Tommy Jarvis, still played by Corey Feldman in this scene.
Yep.
Going to the cemetery, and he sees these two guys digging up Jason's grave, and they both get killed by zombie Jason. And then it like flashes and goes to this new Tommy Jarvis, who is just this weird, angry. I don't even know how to classify this guy, but I did not like him. I did not like this Tommy Jarvis at all.
Anger issues.
Yeah. The kills were kind of lame. Except for some. Also, this film was dragged through the mud by the MPAA, so a lot of the blood and stuff was censored. So there were actually some pretty cool looking kills, but they had to be censored due to the MPAA.
So we can watch somebody snort cocaine.
Yeah, but it wasn't actual cocaine. But yet they did a lot of cocaine
baby powder
behind this. Yeah, he was. I guess according to the actor, he was like one of the few who wasn't doing cocaine on set.
Yeah.
But he was the one character in the movie who was doing cocaine, like in air quotes, because he's not actually doing it. This director was pretty much one of those guys who was just like, do whatever you want, guys. You just make it up as you go. I'll just shoot it. And you're like, okay. But he was legit all about getting those girls naked and filming them in really long and just unnecessary shots from like 17 different angles. Had no relevance to the plot, which there is no plot in this movie.
No, not at all.
Not really.
No,
this is a bad movie. This is just an absolute shit show of a movie. And the fact that it is a new beginning, where? Because it's not even Jason. You find out at the end, it's not even Jason. The whole storyline is stupid as fuck. You have a kid who gets murdered by some random dude in the beginning. It takes place at like a halfway house. That's what the movie takes place at. And this kid he gets murdered by one of the other guys at the halfway house. And you find out that one of the paramedics who goes there is the father of the dead kid. Even though earlier in that same scene, the guy who runs the halfway house talks about how the kid hasn't seen his father and it doesn't even know where his father's at for years. Yeah. But yet the paramedic in that town is the father of the dead. What? What do you mean? And then he turns out to be the killer. You're like, what the fuck is this? Roy Burns, you son of a bitch. Not much to talk about. The best parts of this movie have to be the grumpy, dirty old lady. Or she wasn't an old lady, but the dirty lady who just said fuck a lot. I was like,
she
feel you, lady. That's me right there. Just
Dude.
Go for it.
I hate her. I hate her kill, but
I have a drastically different opinion. I love this movie. I used to hate this fucking movie growing up. I was like, this isn't Jason. This is dumb as shit. And because of shows like The Kill Count and other shows I've watched, actually made me think about it differently. When I watched it again, I do appreciate it. I think this has got some of the most unique side characters the franchise has ever had. You got the enchilada guy. You got the little kid that hangs out with Tommy in the halfway house. You got the trailer trash people. You got the disco enchilada song when they sing in the shitter. It's so great. You got the porn stash Billy that's not doing cocaine in his Charger. You got the lady showing her tits with pizzazz and jazz hands.
Yeah,
like I know the dude's a porn director, but it just seems like the people recording this just had this looked like they had a good time. Some people at least looked like they had a good fucking time making this movie.
I guess you're right.
I actually I don't know when the last time you watched this movie, and you may not. That's fine if you don't. But I actually like Tommy in this movie, not because he's different. He's wildly different than the Jarvis in the last film, and you notice that all three of these roles are all different.
Yeah,
but like my favorite part of his is like I don't mind. I kind of like the psychologically tortured angle because you don't really get that in any other movie until 7, I guess, will be the next closest representation you get to a character getting that. But I just love when that one dude just gives him shit and he just practically like F5s him into a fucking end table, like in that one scene, which I love that scene. But I don't know. I like it. I liked some of the kills were good. Like I like when he kills that one dude with the belt strap around the head, which of course was badly censored. And when he kills the other girl, and if you could find more
in the eyes,
with the hedge trimmers or whatever. I feel satisfied when the one trailer trash kid gets fucking killed, gets his head lobbed off. That feels great. But the worst part about the movie, I will say this. I'm just pointing points I like about it, but the worst part about this movie is I don't like Jason in this movie. Because obviously it's not him.
Because that's what you're watching it for.
I watch it for him.
Yeah.
And it's not him, and the actor portraying him is just too small. He should be a large. Obviously, it's not actually him, but he's not even close to the same physique. He just looks just like a runt.
Yep.
And then you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I think the kill at the beginning, even though it's random as fuck, when the one chubby kid gets killed by the dude named Vic because he doesn't want to share chocolate bars.
Yeah.
And which I love that. But anyway, but because it's so random, like you don't see it coming, and nothing comes of that. Like outside of that's why he becomes Jason. Like he doesn't go after the dude that kills his son, like that we know of. It's never brought up in the movie. Right. Like it's just so random. How many times in a Friday the 13th movie does someone kill somebody else that isn't the killer of the film?
Yeah.
Can I just say the dude that kills the chubby kid does not know how to split a piece of wood to save his life?
Probably not. Well, he doesn't know how to share chocolate bars either. I'd be like, fuck yeah, chocolate bars.
He can ask that dude, but he did not. He just kept making a wider split and it never fully split. And it's like, come on.
And also, what the fuck was this whole mayor shit? Like the mayor shows up and you're like, and then nothing happens with it, and you're like, what?
I don't know. I agree. I'm not saying obviously like any of these movies the story is not good. Like, but I used to hate it, but I just look like some of the characters on it. Like the dude right here, like breaks down in the car. You guys can't see it. Breaks down in the car with his buddy at the very beginning. Yes. He just starts singing some random bullshit song.
It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it just looks like they're just having fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Here's the thing though, is these side characters that really don't go with the air quote plot of this movie. So you have Enchilada guy. What was his fucking name? What was his actual name? Like
Demon.
So you had Demon. You had the two like greaser looking dudes in the car.
Yeah.
You know, those were better characters than any of like the main characters of this movie, and that's why I don't like it, because it's like you shouldn't have more interesting side characters than the main character. And then the fact that it's not Jason. It's not
that's the biggest problem.
Same mask.
It's not.
It's got blue instead of red.
Yep. Which at least I'm glad they did to try in the poster shit. The poster is fucking awful for this movie.
I mean, the one that's on Wikipedia is just words.
Yeah.
It just says, if Jason still haunts you, you're not alone. And it says Friday the 13th, part 5.
Well, it's like the white mask, but it's like an entirely different style than what Jason or anything else was.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. Like it doesn't make much sense except for like the few scenes where Tommy Jarvis actually hallucinates the real Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But the dude playing him is dumb. And a lot of the kills were going to be a lot more graphic and be pretty cool. But as you said, they cut a lot of them down.
But the Tommy beating up the trailer or the trashy guy.
Oh God, yes.
Trashy son. And then he's mad and he's driving around on his dirt bike and then he gets his head chopped off.
Which obviously the guy wouldn't be able to do because he's just a regular fucking dude. But anyway, I agree. But I am a bit of an apologist for this movie. I never was, but lately I've become an apologist for this film because of the side characters and stuff. But I still, again, stand with you. It's shit that it's not Jason.
And to be honest, who is the final girl in this? Is it Pam Roberts? The one that they gave the sheen white shirt with nothing underneath in a rain scene?
Yeah, the dude's a scummy motherfucker. That made
this
this obviously
director is
like porn
fucking
and shit.
slimy, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. But I think you're right. I think that's supposed to be like the quote unquote.
She's the final girl. All right. Well, I mean that's it. I mean, Roy Burns dies. It's a very anticlimactic end to this movie, and I don't like it. For final girl, where are we putting Pam and Tommy?
Where's your list?
We have Trish and Tommy at number 1, Ginny from at 2, Alice at 3, and Chris at 4.
Do you think they're better than like the absolute blank slate that is Chris?
I think so. I'll give that to him.
Okay, that's it. That's as high as I want to go with.
Okay. So Pam.
Even though you love
No. I love like the characters in it, and I do like this portrayal of Tommy, but he's not anything crazy. And then Chris, not Chris, but the lady that he's with, I don't fucking care about. The actual final girl, I don't give a fuck about her.
Where are we putting fake Jason, aka Roy Burns, or Roy Burns, aka fake Jason?
I got a word for that one.
I would say third.
So currently we have Jason from part 4 at 1, Baghead Jason at 2, Mrs. V at 3. Oh wait, did I not put? Oh no, I did put part 4. Mrs. V at number 3, and Jason from part 3 at number 4.
I'll let you guys find it out because I put it at the bottom because it's not Jason. I mean, I know Mrs. Voorhees. I know, but she's the progenitor of all this.
Yeah.
And I actually, when she is on screen, I like her because she's a good actress.
And her kills are really cool.
And this does have a lot of censor, but but it's not. At the end of the day, it's not Jason. So you can. I'm on the bottom for this one, but you guys can. That's my vote.
I would say 4 then, because I hated part 3 Jason.
Okay.
Even though it was Jason, I hated part 3 Jason. It was so lackadaisical. Like it was just like
to go back to work.
Yeah. Like he's the one that he's like, oh, do I have to do this again?
All right, we're gonna put him at number 4. We're gonna put Roy Burns at number 4. All right, where does this film go in our list? We have number 1, part 4, number 2, part 2, number 3, part 1, and number 4, part 3.
Just so confuses my brain. I had to look at it. And I'm like, too many numbers.
What do you think?
I still can't put it above part 3. Or below part 3, I mean.
Well, no, I can't either.
All right,
I mean, as much as you...
Part 5 goes... We'll put part 5 at...
Whoops. Part 5.
Part
I'd put
5.
I'd put it higher, but since you gave me higher for a couple things on here, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it!
Ha! All right.
Yeah. Like, this is definitely one I have to look at when we're...
Yeah, she's got a list punched up over here, too, so you don't have to read it off to us all the time.
Oh, sorry.
Well, he has to read it off to
No, you're good. But if you want titties, though, watch this movie. There's a shit ton of titties in it.
That is literally
I
what
mean,
this
the
movie
lady
is.
laying down, the one that gets her eyes done with the garden shears.
Yep.
I mean, how long do you watch her before you...
it holds on that shit for a while.
It holds on her for a long time.
I mean, you get two different... you get 2 different angles from that one.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 6. Jason Lives. This one was this was the first Friday the 13th movie to not have nudity in it.
Yeah.
Of any kind.
Nope.
This one was directed by Tom McLaughlin, who, from what I've read and watched, he was probably one of the most calm directors that they've ever hired to do any of these movies. He was super chill. He was very personable with his cast and crew. Everybody that has talked about this movie has stated that it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's probably one of the best Friday the 13th movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Before we even get into the details of this movie. This movie released August 1st, 1986, with a budget of $3 million and only made 19.4. The box office starting to decline as we get closer to the end of its Paramount run before it's bought out. But yeah, what are our thoughts on Friday Part 6, Jason Lives.
I know we watched this. Is this the one that had problems with because he gets struck by lightning or what?
Yes.
Yeah, Zombie Jason.
It's an homage. It's
I
okay.
get it.
It's a fucking
But
homage.
it's not
It does. It's not how any of this would work.
We're getting so technical.
Why
It's a
is this
zombie.
why is this you're like, all right, this is too much. Not a guy getting a machete in the head or an axe in the head or stabbed through the shoulder blade.
But I mean, a
And-
freaking pole gets struck by lightning and it brings him
It's
back
so
to
good,
life.
though. This is the best. I love it
This
so
is
much.
the fucking best.
Tommy
I ju-
Matthews, or Tom Matthews, who plays Tommy Jarvis in this movie. This is Tommy Jarvis. This is
This
the
is Tommy
actual
Jarvis. This is-
Tommy Jarvis with
this
his
is
cool
Tommy
jacket
Jarvis.
with the floof and
The floof.
yeah, and he's in there and he's like, "Fuck you, Jason," and he's trying to end
Oh
it.
yeah.
And
Yes.
instead he brings him back to life like fucking Frankenstein's monster.
Which is the reference.
And then literally
Yes.
punches the dude's heart out
Yeah.
like through his chest. Ah, man. This movie's so fucking fun.
This movie's
You have the dude,
fantastic.
you have the cop, here's the thing about this movie. This has the best plot and story of any Friday
Oh
movie.
god, yeah. Yeah.
It-
Easy.
You're invested in the story. All right. You have really good developed characters like the sheriff and his really dumb deputy who has the gun with the really obnoxious fucking laser sight on it.
You bang.
You bet.
Yes. Whatever the laser points at or whatever.
Yeah.
you bang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
you have the coolest version of Tommy Jarvis. You have probably one of the best final girl. Like I love the girl who plays the final girl. I think she does a great job, especially when she's
Yep.
working together with Tommy. I love the kills. I love the way that they dispatch of Jason at the end of this movie. I mean,
Yep.
this is zombie Jason for crying out loud. Like this is fucking awesome.
Teleporting zombie Jason, unkillable machine.
Wait, does he teleport in this movie?
I don't know, at some point. But this is when
Yeah.
it starts, like when he becomes
Yeah.
undead. Like this is
Yeah.
the start of all that shit.
I do like the opening.
Yeah, the James
title
Bond.
Yes. Shink.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so
like
great.
what did they say? It was milk or
It
something?
Yeah, it was
that they
milk.
dyed red. Yeah.
I thought it was like a sheet that they were like shaking in front of it.
Woo,
Like,
spooky.
see?
It's so great. Yeah, okay. I was trying to see who played Jason in this one. I haven't been shouting out any of the guys who played Jason in these films.
They've all been different at this point.
Yeah,
by the
they've
way.
all been different.
They're all obsolete until Kane Hodder comes along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
until
fucking-
Kane
yeah.
Hodder comes in part 7. But this Jason's just so cool. Zombie Jason is like, that's my Jason. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, part 4 is Jason, fantastic. But with zombie, once we start getting zombie Jason, that's when it
Yeah.
starts
Not
getting
my
cool
Jason.
until part 8, which we'll get to in a couple movies from now. But this, yeah, everything about this movie is just fun. You got the paintball
yeah.
guys who you got the literally one swipe, three
Yeah.
decapitations. Like, yes, let's go.
This
Um,
is. Oh, go. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I to be honest,
Okay.
didn't know what I was
This
going
is
to say.
definitely where you have cool kills, just because he's so OP. Like,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's
This is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. Period. Like this is the one. If I'm gonna watch any of them, I'm gonna watch part 6. Like that's the one I always go to. Tarzan's in it. Don't
Yeah,
forget that.
Tony-
One of the
Tony
guys
Wood.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I love all the characters. This is like I love Tommy. It's the best version of him as we talked about. The kills are fun. The movies got great. Like for this time, like a huge step up in production values. Of course, there was some censorship as far as the kills go
Yeah,
and everything.
that's just
Which it's
MPAA
MPAA.
hated this franchise.
It's not peak, but it's it's getting there. But I still think they did a good job. It's got Alice Cooper music in it. Like I said, oddly, as much as I talk about it, this is the only one you mentioned with no nudity in it, and ironically, it's my favorite. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek little jokes in it, where it's like the movie doesn't. It takes itself seriously enough, but doesn't take itself too seriously.
We also get a sweet ass RV crash.
Yeah, dude.
that was pretty cool.
That was
It-
so cool.
And it's just the side characters are fun, like you said, and the behind the scenes, it was probably one of the best sets they had at that point because a lot of the earlier sets were probably played with drugs and just shitty set environments and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is my favorite. Like I said, this one not my favorite Jason. That's the next movie, but this is my favorite Jason film.
Just a very well made Friday the 13th. This was somebody who he took this franchise and he went, I know what I need to do in order to make it successful. Like, let's forget about just the sleaziness of this franchise and let's focus on Jason and let's focus on Tommy Jarvis because that's what people want. They want that clash between these two characters that was set up in 4 and it didn't work in 5, but now it's like, here we go. We have an adult Tommy going up against Jason. It can't be realistic because it's a zombie version of Jason now. Like he's undead.
Yeah.
But just everything about him in this movie, like everything about this movie is just a blast. I remember this. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite Fridays as well, just because it's just fun from beginning to end. The characters are well developed. Like you have the sheriff who is the father of the final girl. As we say, we're pairing the final girl up with Tommy in the Tommy Jarvis trilogy.
Yep.
But the sheriff isn't that generic just piece of shit. I'm the father of the girl and I'm just gonna treat like he's like actually a caring guy who is trying to just protect his town. And when he finds out the things that Tommy's been talking about are happening, he's now on his side and he's trying to stop these things from happening. And unfortunately gets a gruesome death.
Oh
gets
yeah, he
folded
does.
in half like a fucking omelet. Jason, the way that they dispose of Jason is cool. I love the whole scene where Jason goes he's face to face with the little girl, but he doesn't kill kids.
Yeah,
he kills teenagers. He doesn't kill kids.
Yeah, which I like that they kept that. They have not fucked that up yet, so I hope they keep that. I always like that little trope about him.
Yeah, he looked down. He's like, "I'll save that for my knife-fingered friend," and then walked away.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, overall, like, just this movie's a blast. I love the kill where the guy gets thrown up against the tree and it's a smiley face on the other side.
Yes,
it's just like, was it there? Was it not there? I don't know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is not a particularly graphic kill, but this has got a good head squish too.
Oh,
this movie's got a really one of the police officers gets.
Oh, that's right.
Like, he's crushed it. Yeah. But it's something similar is when he shoves that girl's face into the metal in the back RV.
Yeah.
RV. Well, that's not really violent at all, but like blood wise, but it's just cool. Like it's a neat effect.
Very
when
cool.
He does it. Yeah. And then the cabin where he kills that one girl by herself in that cabin, throws her through the window and pulls her back through, and the whole cabin's just fucking soaked in blood.
Oh, is that the one where her slippers like fly off?
Yeah, that's the one.
And she gets her head twisted?
No, not that one. No, not the girl that he pulls like just pulls out of the window and kills. It's the final girl that's not the final girl, the penultimate girl. And it's where he's like goes in the cabin to go kill her and kind of tosses her through a window and she's half dangling out. Then he pulls her back inside the cabin, and when they find the cabin later, it's just blood all over the walls. And yeah, that's cool.
Overall, this movie fucking rocks.
It does rock. You need to see it. If you never watched any Friday the 13th, this is the one one of the ones you need to watch.
And they dispose of Jason by strapping him to a giant chain with a rock attached, and they just leave him at the bottom of Crystal Lake.
Some of my favorite exchanges of dialogue ever by one person not saying anything and Tommy yelling, "Come on, Jason, you fucking pussy." My favorite. I was like, yes.
And just the fact that Jason just walks into the water and just walks.
Oh, I love it.
But here's the thing. Hey, writers of Freddy vs. Jason, when you watched part 6, what in that entirety did you go, what's make Jason afraid of water? All right, I digress.
Listen, oh God, I know. We'll talk about that movie when we get to that fucking movie. I have a lot to say.
I'm just gonna say, I love Freddy vs. Jason, but I hate that whole aspect of that movie.
I hate that.
It's dumb.
Oh! Also, Tommy drives a dope ass truck. He's got a 61 to 66 Ford pickup.
It is pretty dope. I love the chase between him and the cops through the cemetery. Like, wee.
Yes,
because it was a real cemetery, and they told him they couldn't film in certain parts, so he literally had just to follow the paths in the cemetery. You got the drunk caretaker at the cemetery who just keeps talking to the camera.
Yeah, breaks the fourth wall
like 4 times and then dies.
Yeah. And calls himself an old fart head.
Yeah. What do they think I am, a fart head?
Yeah.
Okay. I really like I really dug the almost story they did with this movie where the caretaker was like paid by Jason's father to take care of his grave and something like that. But the reason they didn't do it is because they didn't want to bring a father figure for Jason into the movie, which I get it, but I was like, oh, that would have been fucking cool. I think that would have been different, interesting spin on things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overall, this movie is cool. They actually did. So there was actually some fan films that were made recently that brought back some of the characters from Part 6, including the Yabang cop and his cool gun, Tommy, and I think there was one other character I can't remember, and of course Jason comes back. Those are on YouTube. I can't remember. I think it's like A Stranger Walks in the Woods, and there was one other one.
I think it's God, what is it? It's Don't Hike Alone.
Don't Hike Alone. What was it? It was another one. Was like in the winter?
Yeah.
But that was the one that had Tommy. But yeah. Final girl. We have
Megan.
Or Megan. No, that's not
Megan.
Megan. And Tommy. Where are we putting them?
A number 1. Straight to the top.
A number 1.
Straight to the top.
Angela, do you agree?
I'm going to agree because I'm going to lose out on this one.
Where would you put them? No, you can still state your opinion on the thing, even if you don't get your way.
No, I will say. Sorry, the scene in the Winnebago.
You don't like the scene in the Winnebago?
The Winnebago.
Oh, you mean the sex that's not sex, or the not sex that's sex?
Like, like I feel like it was an 80s exercise video with them dancing.
Yeah, well, that's the closest we got to any sex in this movie.
I will say, I'll say number 1, because other than the way Jason is made zombie, it was a good movie.
It's Never Hike Alone and then Never Hike in the Snow, and there's I guess some more they're working on. So,
for Jason, where are we putting Jason from Part 6?
He's good too.
Is he better than Jason from Part 4?
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna give him. I'm gonna say underneath. He's number 2. I'm gonna say he's number 2 for me because I don't think I think the Jason for Part 4 is at the best at this point. But I thought the guy who did in Part 6 was really good. I thought he did a great job. I thought he fit the role. He was a former Marine.
Yeah.
So I think he did a
knocked myself out with my own mic. That was really fun.
No, you're good. You're good.
I looked up. I'm like, he's flailing. What happened?
Okay.
I'm gonna say you guys are putting it number 1.
Angela, what do you think for Jason for Part 6?
No, I agree.
Okay.
All
right. Film. Where are we putting Part 6? Number 1?
I'm saying number 1 because I fucking love this
Angela
movie.
nodded her head, so that's an agreement, and I will agree because I really think this movie is a fucking blast. As much as Part 4 is a fun movie, this movie is fun from beginning to end, where Part 4 has a lot of great parts, but there are some parts that were just kind of dumb and unnecessary.
He's killing me!
He's killing me! He's killing me! All right. Moving on to Part 7, The New Blood, where we have Jason facing off against a Carrie White character, but not Carrie White.
Yep, true facts.
Oh my goodness! This one was directed by John Carl Buechler.
That's a fake name.
Who directed such films as Troll.
Oh fuck!
Cellar Dweller. Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. He's a makeup artist. He's actually most famous for being a makeup artist, where he did
I fucking hope so.
Ghoulies, Troll, TerrorVision, Dolls, Prison, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Halloween 4, and Hatchet.
Oh, the Hatchet movies are supposed to be pretty decent.
And he
I've
passed
never
away a
seen
couple
any.
years ago.
Oh, that sucks. Did you seriously say one of those was Ghoulies Go to College?
Yes, Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College. Yep. This movie was released May 13th, 1988. This movie was only an hour and 28 minutes. It had a budget of $2.8 million, so a little bit less than Part 6. And it made $19.1 million, so it was about the same as Part 6. Okay, what's our thoughts? What's our thoughts on Part 7? The New Blood.
Well, here's my thoughts on Part 7. This is where everything just starts going downhill. You get like one of the best Friday the 13th movies fucking ever, and it is a very steep decline downhill after that.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
They definitely should have stopped at 6.
It's money.
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 See,
money.
I agree quality-wise it sucks, but I can't agree with that because this is the best Jason. Like not like the best person to play Jason.
Yeah.
Ever.
But they
Kane
should
Hodder
have brought
rocks.
him in.
Yeah.
They should have brought him in before.
Yeah, Kane Hodder
this,
should have been
because
6.
this was just like
Then 6 would have been the perfect movie. Give it all the Oscars. Give that man the $10,000.
so I can buy a new car. No, this one was just not. It felt like a big split as far as where they were headed.
Yeah.
With it, like
Yeah.
One of my
definitely
notes here is kid drowns dad in lake with mind bullets. Just want you guys to take that off. That's the note.
That's it, everybody. That's the plot. That's literally what this movie's about.
Yeah, I was reading his
It's
notes.
literally
while I
about
was
a
watching
telekinetic
this. I was like,
teenager.
I will say this though.
Stop it. Stop watching it.
I'm sorry. It's the dude that plays Dr. Cruz. It's his scene from Tammy and the T-Rex where he's beating on the guy's chest.
Oh, it's it. That's it.
Yeah, he just walks off. There are some decent kills in this. Some decent kills, but this is where the MPAA started getting really heavy on it.
Yeah.
The highlights of this film are Kane Hodder.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
His
awesome. Physical acting and the stunts he does in this movie are great. Honestly, I don't mind the psychic angle. Like, especially in a long-running franchise, them trying something new, I don't have a problem with. Whether it sticks or not is an entirely different matter. Right. But I know at this point they're trying to compete with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, like, really hard.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, most of the characters are okay at best. This is one of the best looking Jason costumes.
Oh yeah,
ever.
Jason looks awesome, even when his mask's not on.
The exposed spine, I love.
We were in Target and they had one of the NECA figures for the Jason from this. I was so tempted to fucking buy it. I know, I just loved it. It looks so good. But yeah, like Jason, this is like one of the most Jason. Like this is, I know you normally watch these for the kills and Jason and all that shit. But this is like one of them. Like you really watch for Jason because fucking Hodder does a great job.
I love his Jason. His whole like turn his head before he turns his body.
And that's when he breathes, like his whole upper body moves and down. He's so calculating. It's just
so cool.
Never runs.
Yeah, everything is
ever.
But everything is animated to what he's on a mission.
Everything else isn't horrible. It's very middle of the road.
Yeah, this definitely isn't like this isn't part 5. This isn't part 3. It's not good, but it's also not terrible. Like I didn't watch this movie going, oh man, that wasn't fun. Like to be honest, Tina, the telekinetic teenager, she's the worst part of this fucking movie. Her character just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. And even the least she, like her foil, if you will, is at least kind of interesting. The hateful blonde that just doesn't like her because she's trying to get on the other dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But at least like there's that, which you don't. I don't think there's no other Friday the 13th movie that has that, where there's like the two women like blatantly arguing or going against one another. So, but yeah, I agree. Like it's nothing special. It's just something I'm just kind of throwing out there. This is a movie I can watch.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
The telekinetic scene.
Yeah.
With her moving the book of matches.
Set them on fire.
And it was like,
Yeah.
Like
somebody's pulling on the fucking fishing
line.
Pull, damn it!
I think
pull faster.
You missed a scene there. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I can't remember any of the kills in this movie. That's just how like kind of bland it was for me. I was just like, I kind of forgot. I know the doctor and the mom.
Yeah, I remember
the
theirs.
woods. All I know is that there's a lot of running in the woods in this movie. A lot of running in the woods in this movie. Like a lot of running in the fucking woods in this movie.
I agree.
Okay, so the two people with the tent stake.
Yeah, two people get killed with tent stake.
This is the one where the girl gets the girl in the sleeping bag. Right?
Yes, best kill in this movie.
One of the best kills of the franchise, to be honest.
Yeah. And the MPAA, people said the MPAA cut is better than the original cut of it.
Oh my god!
A lot of people like just the single dead instead of the multiple.
But they use the best part of it because he said it was weighted, so he was worn out by the end.
Yeah.
So you could definitely tell it was a little bit on the heavy side for him. Right. So it looked realistic.
That kill is one of the best Friday kills.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, easy. Oh yeah, it's so iconic.
Ripping her out with
blonde-headed girl. I hated her. Yes.
See, I don't like her either, but she gives you somebody to fucking genuinely hate in this movie. No, I don't like her either. Was
always against Tina the whole time.
Yeah, that was giving her foil, if you will. Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah. But you never had, like I said, you never really had that in one of these Friday movies. So, but like there's at some, I'm going to say this about another movie later. At some point, somebody had a really good idea for this movie.
Yeah.
And it just didn't come out.
Yeah.
But wasn't this supposed to be Freddy versus Jason? But it just didn't happen.
It was supposed to be like I think it might have been, it was supposed to be after this. Or no, it was supposed to be Freddy because that was the whole idea. And then when they couldn't get Freddy because they couldn't get the partnership with New Line, they decided, well, we'll do Carrie White. They're like, well, we can't do Carrie White. We're like, well, we'll do Carrie White-ish. So it's the same character, but with a different name.
Yep.
And just way worse. I can't. I don't like Tina in this. I just don't like her.
Nah, she's very forgettable. I mean, outside of her having powers, totally forgettable. Like if she didn't have that, she'd be so fucking pointless.
Yeah, and the kills just clearly weren't that memorable because I can't remember them other than the sleeping bag and the doctor and mom getting killed in the woods.
I get a hole punched in me, apparently. There it is, the sleeping bag scene.
Yeah, it's great.
Anyway,
it's the best.
Yeah, so no, like this one dude named Dan, like he just comes up behind him and like punches a hole through him.
Oh, no, dude carrying the
nothing crazy, just it's a thing. Yeah, his name's Dan, so I just say it's me. Yeah, gets killed. He gets hole punched in him. Game honor.
Yeah. I mean, Tina throwing Jason around the house, it was really cool. I like that. Her ripping his mask off, her tossing him into the basement, her throwing him through the stairs. Like, that was really cool. Her setting him on fire.
The final fight is really cool between her and Jason.
Yeah. She drops the awning on him, like the whole over. It was like, Jesus, this is insane.
Yeah.
He gets fucked.
He gets
up,
so fucked up. And the makeup under the mask looked really good. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And then as I watched that, and then I think of the next one we're going to talk about, I go, what the fuck happened with the makeup here? You could definitely tell it wasn't Tom Savini, but I don't like the zombie dad dragging Jason into the fucking lake. What the hell is that? Why is that even a plot point in this movie? It's dumb.
She just had her use her psychic powers to chain him to something else. Have pull the chain back up in the rock and anchor him to something else, or then just leave it at that. Yeah, I think somebody had a good idea. There it is. If somebody had a really good idea for this movie, it just didn't quite come out the way they wanted it to.
No. An amazing explosion scene though with the house.
Yes.
So good,
dude.
Like that's like you see the shockwave from that explosion. That's how awesome it was.
Yeah.
Oh, and they literally did it, and they were like, I don't think it was supposed to happen like that, but that was cool.
Yes. What's her name? The girl you don't like. Is her name Lisa? The blonde hair girl. I don't know why I want to call her Lisa. Yeah, the blonde hair girl that nobody likes. That's against Tina or whatever her fucking name. The one she dies, where she gets the axe in the head, like just thrown over to the thing, and the stunt man just sticks to it.
She gets thrown over the TV.
Yes,
right?
yes, it just
like
blew.
that's her
Yeah,
full.
that's cool. Just the stunt work is great in this movie.
But like when the awning was dropped on him, Tina's stunt girl didn't know that it was going to happen, so it was like legitimate reaction.
Like,
well, he didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah,
but
he didn't know it was
going
going to happen that way too. So it was like,
But yeah, the ending was kind of dumb. The whole dad
Yeah,
Jason thing. I mean, he gets chained back to the bottom of the lake again, like he was in part 6. And yeah, it was kind of it was one of those movies where it's like, all right, it wasn't terrible, but it was all like the whole end of the movie up until Zombie Dad shows up was really cool. Like Jason just getting literally owned by Tina the whole time. And it's awesome. But then Zombie Dad shows me like, oh, well, thanks for ruining that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and the love interest to the final girl survives.
Yeah, you're right.
For a Friday film. So good on you, Nick.
And one that isn't named Tommy Jarvis as well.
Yeah. Well, Tommy's he's not in the franchise anymore at this point.
He's done.
So.
All
right. Well, here we go. Where's Tina going in our final girl ranking?
Boy. She's got to be pretty low.
I would say right above Chris and
below
Pam and Tommy. I mean, here's the thing though. Do I give her extra points for being a badass and literally beating the shit out of Jason?
Yeah, at the end of it. Yeah.
So maybe I put her
put her above because
put her
Tommy.
What about between Ginny and Alice? Ginny's at 3, Alice is at 4. So we put Tina at 4.
I could live with that because Tommy in part 5 doesn't do shit to Jason for the most part. Like he's kind of a pushover. So at least she has that awesome. At least Tina has an awesome fight scene at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
that kind of redeems most of the shit that happens.
All right, Jason. Where we put
this is the part that's gonna be the worst for me because anytime it's Kane Hodder. Almost anytime it's Kane Hodder, I really love it because Kane Hodder is Jason to me. But there's only one other movie he plays Jason that I would really say is him doing a really good job. Because in the next one of the next movies coming up, he doesn't. I know it's Jake, but he doesn't get a chance to do the kills very well. Like this is like it's like this one and one of the last 2 that he can really do some good kills in.
I would put him at 2.
Okay, do it. You know what? I won't fight that one.
Because I like his look and I like what he does in this movie better than 6, even though 6 is a very much a superior film.
Yes.
Where are we putting the film?
Probably not number 1.
No, fuck no. I would put it.
I'd say above 5.
You would put.
Yeah, I was good. That's
okay. That's I was gonna say yeah.
Or do you want it to go above the original?
Well, see,
long pause.
Yeah. Do that because
above the original. Is that what you're saying? Or
no, put it below the original because even though I'd watch this more than I would the original, I think the original as a whole is it's more iconic and more. I think it's just better at what it does. Because outside of if it wasn't for Jason and then that awesome fight scene at the end, like Kane Hodder being Jason, an awesome fight scene at the end, like this movie just would be absolute shit. Like this movie would suck.
All right,
I think.
I agree. Now, on to probably one of the worst Friday films. We are now on to Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. I don't want to talk about this one for very long because it's not good in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, Kane Hodder, he comes back as Jason, but unfortunately, it's a terrible Jason. The makeup effects are just awful. The story is stupid. None of the characters are any good. Like none of them. No. It's overall, it's a bad movie, and this is what killed the Friday. This is what killed this franchise as being a part of Paramount. This is the final film before they were sold off to New Line. this is just bad. Like, there's not much to talk about. The kills are trash. There's subplots that go absolutely nowhere. It's just bad. It's a bad movie.
Yeah, even the best kill in this movie is like shit compared to kills from like most of the other films.
We
in the
talking about
franchise.
the guy who gets his head punched off?
Yeah,
on
what's
the
his
rooftop?
fucking name?
Oh,
Shit, I never remember.
yes.
Yeah, that guy gets his the head punched off. Which
Julius.
Julius, that whole I love that scene where he's like boxing him and shit, and then punches out. I love that. That's it.
It was him punching for real.
Yeah, and there was some. When I was younger and I first started getting into these movies, I actually liked this movie the first couple times I watched it. Now that I've come back and watched this movie when I got older, I hate this movie. It's so fucking boring.
I had a hard time watching this one, and this is the only time I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm already putting this one last. This one is definitely last. This is a terrible fucking movie.
Oh, it's bad. Like outside of a few little like, where he throws guy who would play Jason later into the thing is kind of a nice little like homage if you know later that he'll play Jason. But like I said, the kills are boring. All the characters suck. The subplots suck. The best part is literally just Jason or Kane Hodder being Jason, and that's it. And even in this movie, he doesn't get a chance to do what he needs to do.
Isn't this the one with the guys doing drugs in the?
Yeah, like
for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes at the beginning. Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then
they shoot up the final girl in this, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And try to rape her and bring more something else that doesn't need to be in this franchise.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah, bad movie.
Is bad.
Yeah, don't watch this one.
I say Rennie is last on final girl list.
Yeah. Also, note while you're doing this, actually, Batman shows up in this. So in the beginning credits, you see the Batman,
the Burton symbol. Yeah, in Times Square.
I will say this is one that is so badly, for those of you that don't know, gutted by the MPAA. The kills are fucking awful in this movie.
Yeah,
They're not. There's like almost no gore at all. They're terrible.
Yep. We get 17 versions of Swampy Boy Jason.
Oh,
they couldn't stay. Like, how do you not stay consistent throughout the entire movie of what the boy Jason looks like? It's awful. It's terrible. Just
but anyway,
absolute trash.
Yeah, carry on with your stuff.
Where are we putting this Jason though? To be honest, I feel like he has to be low because his kills are terrible. I mean, he looks good until they take the mask off, and then he looks awful.
I'd put him above Jason 3 Jason, just because Jason 3 Jason sucks.
Okay.
Because it's still Kane Hodder. It's still Kane Hodder. And all the kills blow dick, which is not his fault. It's just how the movie was made. And I just
keep punching my mic. All right. Well, we already know where the film went, so we're gonna move. This is
all the way to the bottom.
That was the fastest one. Now we're gonna move on to another. We're gonna move on to another movie that is also not very good. As we move on to the first Friday film by New Line Cinema. It's not even called a Friday. Well, it actually is. It's called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. How many fucking times are you going to tell me it's the final goddamn one? Stop it.
I had a hard time watching this one.
This movie is fucking awful.
You son of a bitch.
You beat your mic?
Yeah, just knocking. I'm hoping the fucking New Line. Stop this.
It likes it rough, dude.
I didn't even talk about who the director and the shit for the last one was. Let's go back real quick. I just want to know how much money this made. Back in part 8 was directed by Rob Hedden. Let's see what prior work he had done. Yeah, nothing to write home about. The movie came out July 28th, 1989. With a $5.5 million budget. It's the highest budget of any Friday film before it. Made $14.3 million. Absolute garbage. All right, we move on. Jason Goes to Hell, directed by Adam Marcus. Let's see what he's done in his life. He directed some episodes of Friday the 13th, the series. He directed other movies. He helped co-write sequels to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And yeah, that's about his career. This movie was released August 13th, 1993, the first Friday movie to be released while yours truly was alive.
When was it? What was the date?
August 13th, 1993. So it was a couple months after Jurassic Park released.
Oh, that's a great one to follow it up with.
This had a $3 million budget, $15.9 million box office. Kane Hodder returned to play Jason for 13 seconds. This movie is fucking stupid. I don't understand what they're trying to do. They were literally like, we're doing these weird things with Freddy, so let's try it with Jason. And it just didn't work. Like, you have this demonic worm that possesses people to then become Jason to kill people. Like, what? What? This movie's so bad.
Dude. Remember, this is what I talked about earlier when I said, I respect a franchise for trying something different, but just sometimes it just doesn't land. And this is a huge example of something not fucking landing.
Yep. I agree.
A lot of what the hell.
This movie's fucking awful. 2 in a row, too. 2 in a fucking row.
And we talk about the girl's towel in the beginning. Like, was it sewn onto her? Because it certainly stayed put.
Holy shit, yeah. And Jason looked terrible in this movie. I hated it. I hated the mask. I hated I hated how his skin was like morphing over the mask. It looked terrible. It was all bad.
He gained a little weight.
Then he blows up, and then
it's all bloated.
Then you got the guy who eats the heart and first becomes the Jason, and then he walks by Kane Hodder in the hallway because Kane Hodder was one of the security guys.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was just a nice little cameo. Like, hey, Kane Hodder.
They're like, we think you're good, but this is going to be your best role of the movie.
Dude. This movie. Dude, all the characters in this movie suck, except for the baby. The baby's the best part.
The best part.
Baby's the best part.
The people who worked in the diner. People worked in the diner. I liked them. All right?
Okay,
they were pretty funny.
The woman that cursed all the time that her husband was like... Yeah.
Leslie Jordan is so funny. This is early in his career. Yeah.
Yes.
I hate the bounty hunter. The bounty hunter is just a piece of shit.
Creighton Duke? One of the most iconic characters in Friday the 13th, says, I guess a lot of people, even though who fucking cares? He literally makes his debut in one of the worst Friday films.
This dude sucks. What's there to like about him? He's a piece of shit in this movie. He fucking blows.
It's all dumb. It's so dumb.
God, dude. He's not cool. He doesn't do anything cool. He just comes off like a smug piece of shit that thinks he knows everything. How is that cool?
The line during his interview. It's just a
girl putting a hot dog through a donut.
Oh, girl in a pink dress putting a hot dog through a donut. I was like, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
Bye.
And the fact that it's can we just go back and just Jason is a child inside a man's body. Like he's and he's a zombie. But now he is possessing people and able to do intelligent things to then kill other people, to then kill his offspring, to kill people that are related. What the fuck? Now he has a family?
So this just feels like a later Halloween movie. That's all this movie was. It's like they just copied, like, hey, you know what Halloween's doing? We should do that with Friday the 13th. Why?
Yep.
I hated the boyfriend of the girl.
No, he sucks too. Like outside, like you said, outside the diner people, I'd say everybody fucking sucks in this movie.
This movie's bad. This movie's just bad.
It's horrible.
Ends terribly. It's just not fun at all.
There is at least one decent part about this whole movie. Is the gore is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's very gory.
Yeah, it's stepped up a lot from Part 8. I don't know what they did.
It's called New Line Cinema.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
That's literally the reason.
Way more graphic. It's just it's at least that part came back, but the rest of this is just shit.
Yeah, this is a bad movie. This is a very bad movie. So the final girl is Jessica, I guess. Where would we put her?
I don't fucking care.
Is she worse than Part 8's Rennie? Or do we put her?
Could we put them together?
Just Tyler.
I don't know. They're both bad. I don't fucking
I would say she's
care.
better than Rennie because Rennie was not a good final girl. She just literally was just she was terrible. Oh, can we also talk about how the little Freddy Krueger cameo at the end of this movie where he reaches his glove out of the sand and grabs Jason mask because you're like, oh, there's a Freddy versus Jason coming. It doesn't come for another 10 years.
Yeah, except for when he tries to pull the mask underground, they can't even get it all the way the fuck under the ground. If you sit there and watch the scene, like it doesn't go all the way under, you can see part of it. Yeah, that's the one where she gets stabbed with the tent post.
Oh man!
And it's Kane Hodder's hand.
Yep. With the Freddy glove. Yep, that's really
nice.
Cool. All right. This Jason has to be last.
Oh yeah, he's what Jason?
Right. He was like I said. Kane Hodder was Jason for 3 seconds. Jason, Part 9.
Yeah, because it says in the beginning, Kane Hodder as Jason, and then you're like, wait a minute, he's the security guy. How is he Jason? And then it's like,
it's like all these other fucking people. It's so stupid. God, dude, this movie
it's bad.
I will let you know. Yesterday was the first time I've ever seen this movie, and the reason I never watched it was because of how bad I heard it was.
Yesterday?
It's bad.
Friday, 2 days ago. Sorry, Friday.
Like, wait a minute.
That's exactly why I've never seen this movie, just because of that.
So,
and he does like super uncharacteristic things too.
Yeah,
like when he captures the sheriff and like shaves his face before possessing him.
It's like,
what the fuck does that matter?
So but the fact that
like he's completely naked.
Yeah. The fact that the fucking mortician guy in the beginning is like craving this heart and he just
I guess it's
gnaws on it, man.
It's supposed to be some dumb supernatural thing or something. It's so fucking stupid. It's stupid as fuck.
Is this one worse than Part 8?
Yes.
I want to say yes because Jason's not even fucking in it at all.
All right.
Honestly, I'd put him about the same, but I'd put 8 before this because it's shit. Even though it's got dumb swampy boy and mama, bleh, bleh. Someone turn the water. Mama, that's so fucking stupid.
Oh. All right. 2 more films to talk about in this crazy ass franchise. After 2 giant piles of shit that were Jason Takes Manhattan and Jason Goes to Hell, we then go almost 10 years without a Friday film when we finally get Jason fucking X. Hell yes.
Wink. Wink. Good old Jason X.
This movie was directed by James Isaac, who did a lot of creature work back in the 80s. He did creature work for Return of the Jedi and Gremlins.
Good.
He worked with David Cronenberg on films such as something we've already reviewed on this channel, The Fly, Naked Lunch, and Existence. He did Jason X, which was his kind of first his start into directing. He did Skinwalkers and then Pig Hunt. Never heard of that. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2012. Jason X was released April 26, 2002, with a budget of $11 to $14 million, and it barely made its money back at $17.1 million.
I just like to state that I contributed to that money.
And guess what? Kane Hodder is back as Jason, and
hell yeah
to the What do we think of Jason X?
That's great. It's not good, but it is a fun movie to watch. It is fun. It's shit fun.
Some really fun kills.
Oh yeah.
I've not seen it.
You've not seen Jason X? Oh no.
No.
Angela didn't finish her assignment.
No, I just have to go through.
That's the only one you haven't seen.
That's the only one that I haven't seen.
All right.
I just watched the kill count and I'm like, man, these kills look fake.
Oh yeah, there's some
this movie is really like this one was like the first.
It's like
this was the first Friday to incorporate some CG into it because of course it takes place in space. So yeah.
It just
has one of my favorite kills of the entire franchise with a girl who gets her face shoved in the the dry ice and then smashed on the freaking table.
Yep. Yeah.
I watched that one. That was really cool.
It's got some good kills. It's got a couple pretty lame ones, like
Yep.
where he just kills people off screen or breaks their neck, which is really out of character for him. But if they just couldn't think of, maybe they couldn't think of anything else to do. I don't know why. You're in space. You're on a fucking space station. Think of some cool shit you do. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Jason's never been here. It's not a fucking campground.
Yep.
I actually really like Jason, his mask specifically, like his face, because it's literally just Kane Hodder. Like if you really look at the Jason,
about like before he becomes Uber Jason.
Yeah, when it's just him in the mask, and you just see close-ups, it's literally just him.
Yeah.
With a little, it's not like crazy prosthetics like I've been in the past. Like, obviously he looks rough. I think he looks good, but it's just Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of like that.
I mean, this movie is just a blast. It has some really fun kills.
Yeah.
You get Uber Jason, which looks badass. You get a cameo from Cronenberg himself in the beginning of this movie. It's
yeah. I mean, all the kills in the beginning are really cool, like really well done.
And he's just himself, dude. Like he does such a good job being Jason, being big and menacing and staring there, fucking with people, and it's good. It's not, but it's good.
You get more sleeping bag kills because you get the the freaking the screen. What was it, like the holograms of the girls, like, hey big boy, and they like flash them, and then you see it like cuts to the next scene and it's just Jason just fucking swinging them all around.
It's
so
good, dude.
great. This
is if you expected anything really good out of this with a movie about Jason in outer space, I mean, you know what you're getting into watching this.
This is the best killer in outer space movie, all right? Because the only thing it really had to compete with was, I think Hellraiser did one, and Leprechaun, which Leprechaun Space is not good. I mean, I guess it's fun, but this one's a lot more fun to me.
That's the important part. Is it's just a fun movie? Yeah. Like that's it. Like it's like 4 is a better movie than this quality wise, I think. But it's that kind of fun. Like it's just put it on and enjoy it, dude. Like it's ridiculous nonsense, but it's good times.
Yep, it's just a dumb fun movie with
I need to
dumb fun kills. You got guys getting decapitated. You got robots. It's got like alien throwbacks where you have the cyborg that gets kind of broken in half, and the guy who created her is like carrying her around because he's in love with her, and it's just all these weird little side things. You got the guys that are playing the game in the hologram room, and they get killed by Jason because they think it's part of the hologram.
Yep. There's like a random Doom reference.
Yeah. You get the ship that they're on just blasting through this colony and killing like 20,000 people, It's all a great time, and then Jason at the end just shoots down like a meteor down to Camp Crystal Lake, baby.
But you got the badass like captain or whatever that fights him or whatever his name is, Sergeant. It's so cool, dude. It's
out
ridiculous.
In space, just fighting out in space.
This
movie is freaking wild.
It's so good.
Oh man.
You know what these movies remind me of? Like this movie is like early 70s Godzilla is what it reminds me of. Like Godzilla doing flying drop kicks, somehow making himself fly in midair, trying to fighting a giant poop monster. Like it's if you're a fan and you know what you're getting, it's just a good time and it's ridiculous and just have fun with it.
Yep. I agree. The son of the original creator, Noel Cunningham, was a producer on this movie, which I thought was pretty cool. The production companies also behind the films going forward when New Line took over is Crystal Lake Entertainment and Friday X Productions. Thought I'd share that.
Obviously, those didn't stick around.
And Harry Manfredini did the music. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good old Manfred. Oh, dude, he did the music in Part 9, didn't he?
Did he?
I'll have to look it up.
I'll look at it. Yeah, he did.
Dude, the music department sucked a dick too. I mean, I know it's Manfredini, but it's off. We talked about that. Like, this music is shit.
Yeah.
And I like his stuff. And the other movies, anyway, go ahead. Best kill, the freezing face.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, as you said.
So I don't know what I would do for who's the final girl of this movie?
It's the cyborg head. No, I don't fucking know.
14.
No, who is? It's the girl from the beginning.
Oh, the one who gets frozen along with her, or along with him.
Because she lives to the end with the tech guy and in his expensive fleshlight.
Yep. What's her name?
I don't fucking Rhonda, maybe. I don't know. Help me, Rhonda. I don't have this movie pulled up.
Rowan?
Maybe?
Because it's it's Rowan. Okay. So where are we putting Rowan on our final girl list?
Christ. What do you think?
I know we're so
I have no say in
Let's see your list. Let's see your list. Yeah, I know. I know you've not seen this one yet.
That was the only one I hadn't seen.
I would put her. At least she doesn't do a bunch of dumb one-liners. Do you think she's like middle of the pack, kind of, or would you put her lower?
I'd say below Pam and Tommy and above Chris.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Because she's nothing special. Like, nobody in this movie is particularly like great, but like I said, it's just fun.
All right, where's Jason / Uber Jason going?
We didn't talk about Uber Jason.
Jason gets torn apart. He gets into like a regeneration pod thing and becomes Uber Jason and doesn't
nano machines.
He's literally Uber Jason for about 5 minutes of this movie. He fights the captain out in space and then gets shot down into Earth 2. That's literally Uber Jason. He looks really cool though. Uber Jason looks badass.
He does, but before that, I still think he's a pretty cool Jason.
Oh no, I think the look of him as Jason before he becomes Uber Jason is really cool.
I like his. Oh boy,
his red eyes.
It's got to be somewhere close to the top, wouldn't you say? Like, he's pretty good.
I'd say above Baghead Jason, below Jason from 6.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Some of his kills were kind of lame, but he did have some really good ones. So,
all right, and where are we going to put this movie?
Oh boy,
I would say.
Oh boy,
I don't know. I really like this movie. Like, it's probably top 3 for me. I put it below 4.
Oh, really?
You don't have to agree with me. It's fine.
No, I know. I like it too, but I don't. So that's going to be the thing, though, is because it's going to be just me and you. Because I don't know if I like it. I'm trying to debate if I like it. I'm trying to debate. I'm trying to debate if I like it more than I do part 2.
I mean, we could put it below part 2. I'm not going to be mad about that because part 2 is good.
Yeah, put it below part 2.
All right.
Because it's like, it's ridiculous, and I don't know. Just the second one's just kind of traditional.
All
right. Okay, we are now closing out this franchise. As we said at the beginning of this episode, we are not doing Freddy versus Jason. We're going to be going from Jason X to the remake from 2009. So once I can find the info for that movie, we will talk about it. Friday the 13th. Here we go. So now we are talking about Friday the 13th, the remake from 2009. This movie was directed by Marcus Nispel, who also directed the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003. So, good choice. This was also one of the horror remakes that was under Michael Bay's little umbrella there.
Platinum Dunes.
Yep. It was also produced by Sean Cunningham, one of the original creators. Also, Brad Fuller, who is a very good writer. He wrote the Hannibal TV show that came out a few years ago. He's written a lot of good stuff over the years. And we get a whole new Jason. We get Derek Mears playing Jason. And I'm gonna say it before we go over it. This is my favorite Jason. Like I love Jason's just fucking scary, dude. Like
he's
terrifying.
He's really good.
So
for
I
a
know,
non, I'll go ahead. Say for a non-immortal Jason, he is scary as shit.
right?
This one was so good.
This
Say
movie
non-zombie.
was released on February 13th, 2009 with a $19 million budget. It's the most expensive Friday the 13th film. And it made $92.7 million, which is the highest grossing Friday the 13th film. This was a movie that came out, 7 years after Jason X and 6 years after Freddy vs. Jason. I'll let you guys start off. You guys just watched this. As of this recording, you guys just watched this movie.
Yep.
So I want to know what your thoughts are. I've seen this movie. I think I might have seen this in theaters, but I've seen this movie a lot. So tell me your thoughts.
I really enjoyed this one. For a remake, it was done very well. Kills. I still enjoyed some of the characters. I think I liked them because I knew who they were. So, but overall, I really, really enjoyed it.
The kills are so cool.
What now?
Huh?
Oh, the kills. Oh God, I'm zoning. Sorry. No, dude, this is. And a lot of times where remakes come out and they tend to fuck it up.
Yeah.
This one did not fuck it up.
Yeah.
At all. Like I love the way it's handled. Spoiler alert, obviously we're going to talk about it. This is essentially a condensed version of the first 3 films with some nods to the 4th.
Yeah.
Or would you include the 4th in that as well?
No, I would probably just say first 3.
Yeah. It's great. Like it's a late 2000s horror film.
Yep.
Like so you understand what you get at the time. It's Jason's awesome. Like running Jason is scary as fuck. So which I don't mind because when Jason's undead, he can like teleport around. Like that's cool. Like I love that Jason. Like that's my favorite Jason. Yeah, right. That's my Jason to me. But like a regular like survivalist human sprint like fucking big dude. He's not like this nasty. Like he's like this built motherfucker running around and shit like that. Chasing. It's crazy, terrifying shit. And he's just so fast too when he's on screen doing stuff to people. And Jason's cool. The kills are cool. There's some real asshole characters in it. Like not like assholes. Like you want him to die. They're not like, oh, this guy fucking sucks. Get him off camera, or whatever. And then like the good guys are good. I like what's his name, Padalecki.
Oh, I don't remember his name.
Jared Padalecki. Yeah,
I don't remember his name.
Which technically he's supposed to be the he's killing me guy.
Plays Clay Miller.
He's a reference to that guy because he's looking for his sister. And,
you mean that
anyway,
he's killing me?
Luckily he doesn't do that. But it's got that real gross, gnarly, dark look to everything, and everything's like kind of super grounded, and they kind of fix some of the issues when you went from the original Friday the 13th Part 1 to Part 2 back in the day, where Jason didn't actually drown. Like I'm assuming he probably almost drowned, and he saw his mom get killed and shit like that. It's just it's so good, dude. The kills are great. It's real suspenseful at times. There's some pretty decent jump scares. I hate jump scares, but it's
the kill in the house.
This is probably like if they need to do it whenever they can do another Friday the 13th movie, they need to do one this good or better.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do.
This is definitely one I would love to go back and revisit and do like a full podcast episode on just this movie.
Yeah, easy.
It's such a lot of people don't like this movie, and I don't know why, but I think it's a very well made horror remake.
So good.
I have my issues with the teenagers. Like I have my issues with the cannon fodder, as we should say, like the ones that are going to be killed. But it's like if you look back at all the other Fridays, like that's what all of them were. You had your characters here and there, like Tommy Jarvis and some other characters that were like mainstays, but like these are generic like teenagers from the late 2000s, like just how it goes.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of titties and sex, but that's no different than the old stuff.
With one of
That's
the
no
greatest lines
different.
ever. What does that guy say when he's having sex with that girl that's not his girlfriend? Isn't it like you got some like amazing?
Yeah, he's got a fetish with some symmetrics.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing nipples. They're very symmetric.
Yeah.
And it was like, and like
he's complimenting this girl's boobs in weird ways.
and I like how it's the main character is I don't know his fucking name in the movies. Clay.
Yeah.
I think his name's Clay. Is his goal is he's just trying to find his sister.
Yep.
And I like that's dude, the 23-minute fucking title card. Really thought we get that group. We got I thought this was our fucking group for the movie, but it's not our group for the movie.
One of the most gruesome kills.
I was like, what?
23 minutes.
The sleeping bag kill in this movie is fucking gruesome.
Oh, it's brutal.
I like that one, but I like the one in the house where the knives are coming up through the stabbing through the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
through the foot.
It just gets worse. It's like foot, part of leg, thigh, and it's just like up, and it just pulls him down to the fucking ground.
Like,
yeah, this Jason is terrifying.
Hurts.
Oh, he's scary as shit.
And that's the thing is like people. I think that was another gripe about that people had with this movie is like, this isn't my Jason. This is, Jason, either you have that undead Jason or you have the Jasons from like the first couple movies. Like, no, this is a fucking cool ass Jason because this is a dude. This is just a survivalist, like living in the woods, just trying to like get the fuck off my fucking property type deal. Like,
get off my lawn.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be like that? Like he's been living off the land by himself for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the one thing I do like that they establish is that like the locals that have been there for a long time, they're like, we don't go there. We just don't fuck with it. We know he's there. We know something's going on. We just don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
The dude with the mannequin.
Oh God.
Oh, the one that like was like making out with the mannequin. Yes. Is the one where he finds the mask.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say,
dude.
I love how they did Baghead Jason in this, dude.
Oh, so good.
Like it's not just like, oh look, let's just put a potato sack on his head. Like it's more kind of form to it. It almost looked like it's almost bandaged. Like his head looks almost bandaged. It's it's so good, dude.
Derek Mears is a very massive man.
He
portrays this character in such just a scary way. Like that scene where he, like the girl, like at the beginning scene with that group, the girl gets set on fire in the camp and in the sleeping bag, and then of course all the other guys are just getting like knocked off one by one, and then you have the girl and she's trying to run away and she falls and she's like trying to scoot and he fucking sprints at her and just that like full on motion where he comes down with the machete but then it goes black. Dude, I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, holy shit. Like I've never like you don't ever see Jason like this.
No, I agree.
And
well,
he of it.
Well, he murks that one dude like that too. The one dude that's with her, that's in the bear trap, he winds up and nails him on the head first, and then goes through the same. Oh, it's so good.
Like he's so fat. Like I think that's what makes it scary. Like to be honest, these slow, like the way that Jason moves in a lot of the movies where he's just walking. Same with Michael Myers. Like it's not, to me, it's not scary. Like the fact that like I'm trying to run away, like I'm trying to get away from this guy, and this massive hulking thing just sprints at me with a fucking 4-foot machete. Just what?
See,
shit in my pants.
Now this is going to be weird for me because I like how Kane Hodder is when he's Jason, when it's the zombie Jason, because he's got the whole teleport thing. It's like you could run from it, but you can't truly get away because he's got the whole teleport thing. But like and when it comes to my zombies, I like shamblers, like I always had, because I like the false sense of security. I like the psychological torment they give you by like, oh, it's like, oh, I could get away from these guys, but there's so many and you can't, blah, blah, blah. But I like this Jason running. Like, I love that whole sprinting thing. It's cool as fuck. And like, it fits the character. It makes sense.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree very much. So I don't want to go too. I don't want to go too much into this because I do want to do a full episode on this movie at some point because it's just. I would love to do like a comparison between the original and this, or the movies that it actually references.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot going on in this movie compared to the plots of prior Friday movies. Like this actually has a plot. This actually has some stuff that you can dig into. So at some point we'll cover it. But we still got to go through our lists here. So there really wasn't a final girl, because the final girl who you thought was the final girl, she gets murked. Jenna, played by Danielle Panabaker. I would say Clay and his sister.
Yeah, they would be our two people.
So the Millers, where would we put them?
But they kind of turn you on your head, because at the beginning you think Clay's sister died, but you don't know it's his sister. But then the girl you think is going to survive at the end dies.
Yep. So
it's there's some interesting twists that happens a few times in this movie. But let's see what we got. Oh God, that's top. Okay.
That's it.
They got to be in top 3 or 4 for me, because he's got motivation. He's got a reason to be there. He's not like, oh, we're just at camp fucking each other and someone gets killed. It feels like there's a purpose.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're as good as the Jarvises. I don't know. What do you think?
I would say below Trish and Tommy, above Ginny.
That's what I was going to say.
That's good. I'd put them in top 3.
So the Millers, right? That was her last name.
Maybe
remake. Okay. Where are we putting this Jason? This is for me, this is my favorite Jason. I know you guys probably won't agree, but I love this Jason. Is fucking just scary. Like the fact that he's just straight up scares the shit out of me. Makes him a great Jason.
Yeah. See, I understand, because my favorite Jason's not number 1 either. So, I'd put him because of who he is. Like,
say 2 or 3 for me.
I'd say 1 or 2. Like, he's really fucking good, and I hate because Kane's still my favorite, but just on screen.
You said portrayal. 2 or 3, and you said 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So we'll put him at 2.
Okay.
So Jason from remake.
God, I hope we get it.
And where are we putting this movie?
It's top 3 for sure. It has to be.
I want to put it at number 2. Like 6 is just such a perfect Friday movie, and I just feel this one is pretty damn close.
It's so, because I like it pays so much respect to the source material. They stay true to the story. I know they adapted multiple movies, but I mean, let's be honest, there's not enough going on in a lot of those movies to make a 1-to-1 remake. Let's be blunt. Right. But I just think it added, I don't know. It just added its own stuff to him by making a survivalist and him seeing his mom die, and you see where he lives and grew up, and it's just cool. I like it. I like how he's like, oh, he has like a territory he sticks to until these people go on his property. And it fucking pisses him off, and he just finds them and kills them.
Yep.
The kills are good and fucking brutal. And some of the characters are actually pretty good, like pretty decent characters.
Yep.
So,
listen, give Marcus Nispel some more horror remakes to do. Give him some more horror jobs, because I think he did a damn good job with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he did a good job with this. There's some franchises that need some love, and some horror franchises I feel need some new life breathed into them, and because I think the 2 movies that he did, with Texas Chainsaw and this, were great.
But that's it. We talk about that one again.
But that's it. We have gone through every Friday the 13th movie, from the original all the way back from 1980 to the remake in 2009. 29 years of Friday the 13th. And hopefully we'll be getting more in the future, now that legal things have been hopefully rectified with the franchise. There was a very popular video game that was going on for a bit, and because of this legal stuff that was going on, the game stopped being updated and all that stuff. So hopefully, with things going in the right direction, we'll see Friday the 13th return, because if we can get more movies like the remake, I'm in. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, please. I would love to see, because I'm a sucker. Like, this is my favorite one of my favorite horror franchises. I adore the series. I know there's schlock, a lot of them are, but I'd love to see more.
So we're gonna go through our final lists, starting with Final Girls. Number 1 is Megan and Tommy from Part 6. Number 2 is Trish and Tommy from Part 4. Number 3 is The Millers from the remake. Number 4 is Ginny from part 2. Number 5 is Tina from part 7. Oh, God. What did I say? Number 6? Or did I say number 5? Number 6 is Alice from the original. Number 7 is Pam and Tommy from part 5. Number 8 is Rowan from Jason X. Oh, God, 9 is Chris from part 3. Jessica is at number 10 from part 9. And then Rennie is dead last from part 8.
Yeah, you stay there, motherfucker.
Yeah, you suck. All right. Now on to our Jasons. We have number 1 is Jason from part 4. Number 2 is Jason from the remake. Number 3 is part 7 Jason. Number 4 is part 6 Jason. Number 5 is Jason / Uber Jason from Jason X. Number 6 is Backhead Jason from part 2. Right? Did I say 6? Mm-hmm. Number 7 is
6.
Mrs. Number 6 is Backhead Jason.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Mrs. Voorhees from the original. Number 8 is Roy Burns / Fake Jason from part 5. What number am I on now?
9.
9 is Jason from part 8. Number 10 is Jason from part 3. And at the tail end is Jason from Jason Goes to Hell, and he needs to stay there.
Yeah.
All right. Now on to the films. I just got to put a number next to them because I'm losing track here.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing. I was like, oh, because I don't know.
All right. For films, at number 1 is part 6. Number 2 is the remake from 2009. Number 3 is part 4. Number 4 is part 2. Number 5 is Jason X. Number 6 is Friday the 13th from 1980. Number 7 is part 7. Number 8 is part 5. Number 9 is part 3. Number 10 is part 8. And number 11 is Goes to Hell.
Perfect.
There you go. We'll post our lists on Twitter so that people can see our final lists. This was a fun little review going over all the films, ranking them, and doing all that stuff. There are some of the films from this franchise I would like to do their own episodes on. Jason X as being one of them, the remake being one of them. Even going back and talking about our favorite, our top 3 being part 6, part 4. I think it'd be cool to do that at some point. But next week, we are going to be talking about a little horror movie from 1984, a movie that is being remade, coming actually the day that you guys watch this episode is the release of the remake of this movie we're going to be reviewing, and that is 1984's Firestarter, starring Drew Barrymore. We'll be doing a full-on podcast review of Firestarter, and then we'll be doing a fresh cut, hopefully the same week, of the remake. So,
cool.
Very excited for all of that. After that, I don't know yet, so we're not going to talk about anything going forward. We will be doing a fresh cut of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness at some point, because we're probably all going to see it at some point. So we will get you an episode of that, hopefully in the next couple weeks. And we still got Halo reviews coming out for the next couple weeks. Me and my friend Andrew Schoening have been sitting down talking about Halo every week. So make sure to check those out, because this past week's episode wasn't good. So listen to us complain about it for 30 minutes. That was released on Monday. So, but before this episode gets way too long, thank you so much for all the support. Hope you had a great time. It was nice to dive into something that wasn't Batman for once in the last 2 months. It was a nice relief. And what better thing to talk about on Friday the 13th but the franchise, with the same name. But until next time, I am your host, Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film podcast, episode 53. See y'all next time.
Deuces.
Go watch Jurassic Park 3.
Thank you.
Hi.
Jurassic Park 3.